Hello, everyone. This is yet another Sunday. Believe it or not, the Sundays just keep on rolling, just like all these new chapters we're going to talk about here on the Promised Sunday Mangacast. That's right, rebranded again. It was my turn this time, and I felt like I had to go with that name because we're here to promise you that this Neverland is quite stinky yet again. Get ready for
Never
another
gonna
rant.
end.
Apparently not.
Never
Yeah,
gonna
it's ridiculous.
You may complain about One Piece like never ending. Yeah, Promised Neverland.
Well, at least One Piece is good.
Well, at least One
Yeah.
Piece's story is like going somewhere. But I'm gonna save this for the Promised Neverland rant that's gonna happen. Let's go with the intros. You all, are we just gonna do an intro every time? We
I
just like
guess.
Yeah.
assume that this might be the first episode. Okay, fine.
I think a brief
Yeah.
intro would be good.
And we
Yeah.
got a new guy.
People don't watch this shit.
Oh yeah, we do have a new guy. All right, so we'll just go off. Okay, my name is Real Human Bean, and what the? I just got a comment on our podcast episode 2. Interesting. I didn't know
Uh-oh.
if anyone.
Oh,
was
they're
gonna
gonna get a
watch.
shout out?
Let's see. Is
Oh,
it
it's
is it
gonna
gonna be? Is it gonna be?
Is
Uh-oh.
it?
Oh, look at that. Tommy Croxford said, "Uh-oh, stinky poo."
Congratulations.
Everyone find that comment and
Congratulations,
download it,
Tommy.
please.
You're a fucking
Download.
idiot.
There was a guy who commented on the newest one saying, "Hey, can you guys just stop like commenting oh stinky and let him like make his own videos?" It was some
Hey.
guy with the Doge pic. If you're listening right now,
Yeah.
Oh,
thank you.
thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Hold on. I got the screenshot. I'm gonna put it in the thumbnail right now.
That goes in the thumbnail.
Put it in the thumbnail.
Tommy
Croxford.
Make sure
We
everyone
see you.
knows his
Tommy
times.
Croxford. Oh my god.
Well,
Yeah,
like everyone. My
Anyways,
name.
yeah, that's who I am. Oh, did I interrupt you?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever. Hey guys, it's me, Sloppy Joe, Clayton. Call me whatever. I got a package in the mail. I don't know what it is. Let's open it.
Yeah,
you guys
open
do
it
your introductions
live.
while yeah.
No. We're gonna wait for you to finish.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's probably
Take your
the
time.
game. I have 2 games in the mail. Which one is it? It's
One with
Yu-Gi-Oh!
both.
Legacy of the Duelist. Over the Nintendo.
Wait, is it the new one or the old
Yeah,
one?
The new one. The new one.
The new one's based. Old one's
okay,
good too.
guys. It's Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
All right, end it here. End it here.
Yeah, that's
And-
the
That's your
whole
intro,
podcast.
Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Bye,
Uh,
everyone. That's it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay. Hello, I'm Orta. I'm still trying to like fix my mic. I keep like going between like really quiet and loud like every episode. I still haven't found a good spot for it, but we'll get.
Arda,
we're
you have some
getting
good news.
there.
You know,
about,
we're gonna open a Patreon. We're gonna have Arda get a Blue Yeti mic. That's
I
our-
have a Blue Yeti mic, dude.
Wait, are
I
you
get one
using
too.
that right now?
Yeah.
What the
Get a better
fuck?
one.
Hmm.
I have a Blue Yeti mic, and I put like 2 socks over it to do the funny.
2
Yo,
stars.
Dude, a pop
forgot-
filter is like $3.
Okay, you want to buy one for me?
Bet.
Okay, well, yeah, that's me.
All right, hey everybody. I'm calling out, but you can just call me Colin. I have nothing interesting to say today.
Well,
Except don't forget Captain Buggy's Buggy Ball.
well, one thing that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
interesting is we have a guest on here, so you could introduce yourself right now, or you could just leave me hanging.
Hey, the name's Hector. I go by Hector.
Also, Hector.
No,
Yeah.
no, that is not true. I don't go by Hector. That is a lie created by the media.
Everyone go in the description below. Go to his Twitter and just go, "Hey, Hector."
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Speaking of Twitter, my Twitter is Hector Spect. It's like retrospect, but with Hector instead. So,
Pretty clever.
yeah, read Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
He's one of us.
Hey everyone, pop quiz. Without looking at the Shonen Jump app, can you tell me what the cover story is for this week?
Promised
Oh,
Neverland.
It's the Promised Neverland. Woo!
Oh no.
Let's get this shit out of the way first.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it, we're peeling it off like a band-aid. So, if you remember last episode when I went on my rant about Promised Neverland, the punches just keep on, rolling, and it's just another fucking shitty chapter. It's incredible. So, what happens in this chapter is we get a cover page, not a cover, a color page of the kids in America. Oh, and actually, I want to give a shout out. There is this
Go the
guy.
kids of America.
So there was this guy, and when I was in the My Anime List discussion forum for this chapter of the Promised Neverland, there was a comment that it made
Oh, I
me
know what you're talking
it
about.
gave me a quite a hearty kick, and I feel like
Harvey's doggle, if you will.
given like the times that we're living in now, I think it's a quite a relevant thing to bring up, and that is for chapter 178. Let me pull this up. Okay, so this guy on my enemy list, his name's Ben Ryan. He seems absolutely based. He's got the whole City Hunter thing he's rocking. His
Yo.
favorites are like Shaman King, Vagabond,
Yo.
Ashita no Joe, Legend of Galactic Heroes, Ruin Kenshin. Like this guy's based. And
Get him
so
on the
I'm
podcast.
seeing, sure, why not? But I'm looking through these discussions. I like to look at my enemy list discussions. Actually, this is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. And this
Yeah.
guy just said, quote, "LOL, washed up on American soil, should have stayed in the demon world."
Everything going on in the world, you know.
Dude, my anime list is just the biggest piece of shit on the entire like internet.
It's great
But
though.
Yeah,
I'm
but you
I
know
didn't
what?
get to
People
take
like
one.
Ben Ryan, they make it worth it.
Yeah.
So anyways, so yeah,
People
so
for
the children wash up on the New York shore.
in real life New York City with the real life Alvin and the Chipmunks.
So what happens is they realize, oh my god, we're in the human world, hooray! Isn't that great, Emma? Guess what? Emma is not here. Dun dun dun!
Wow, who saw that coming?
Yep.
Yeah.
But then they're like, how Emma wouldn't lie to us? And because of the promise that Emma made, there's no way that she could have been kept in the demon world because her promise said all children, and she's a child. Then
Emma wouldn't lie to us, especially not all the times where she had to lie to people. She wouldn't do that.
Then I shit you not, you turn the page and like a fucking like sci-fi massive fucking like stealth bomber comes flying towards them with this dude just chilling on the roof.
I gotta
And
look
so
this right now.
it turns out he is Mike Ratsry. He's Peter Ratry's uncle and the current head of the Ratry clan. And he says, "Don't worry, the Ratrys on Earth are not bad guys like in the demon world." And he gives the quick rundown on what's happened to the world. So it is the year 2047. So 2 years before Ryan Gosling makes me realize he's literally
He's
me.
literally me.
So what happens is there was all sorts of war. Um, the east side of the U.S. is now called Area 1, and the children are like, this is really different from the world that we grew up hearing about, right? So you think, oh shit, like is this like a dystopia, right? So they find out that from 2020 to 2030, there was abnormal weather, natural disasters, epidemics, food shortages, and a world war that lasted for 10 years. Pretty crazy. It's kind of hard to believe that something like that could happen, especially in the year 2020. But anyways,
Do you think?
It gets
Do you
worse.
think-
Every month just gets worse. And
Do you think this was planned, or do you think this is like an actual asshole to like get with the times?
I don't fucking know. I don't think the author knows, frankly.
it's literally, hey,
So-
2020 can't get worse.
Wasn't coronavirus mentioned in Promised Neverland?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
graffiti.
So anyways,
What?
so
Yeah.
they're like, oh, the system's all broke and the world is changing. Classic Marvel line. So, in order to survive, humanity as a whole needed to be saved. So you know how they did it. Don't cheat. Don't look it up. Just tell me how you think that everything got fixed.
They went to Mars.
Demons.
No,
They
they
sold babies.
Coexistence.
they abolished all the borders on the planet.
What?
I'm quoting the manga right now. National borders were abolished. The world became one large nation.
Oh my god.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude.
That sounds so lame.
Bruh.
And they're like,
Well,
this
this was
is
like about like little orphan kids and shit.
yeah, but now it's
I missed
about
that,
Write
dude.
down
now,
the time. Write down the time we're at and put a bruh sound effect right here.
Bruh.
Okay, thank you.
so I don't. Okay,
Mm.
about 10 minutes. All right. So, anyways, so they're like, "Oh, this is great news for us because we're technically illegal immigrants, but no one will tell us the wiser because there's no such thing as an immigrant anymore because everyone lives happily together because apparently all the political and social issues in the world can be fixed as easy as just giving someone a Pepsi and saying you are
Are
no
you sure?
longer an
Like, are you sure
immigrant."
Are you sure the author doesn't like live in Los Angeles or something? This is like, are you sure this is like an actual Japanese person writing this?
Yeah,
I,
it's
I,
it's it's crazy, and they're like, "Oh wow, the environment is not polluted. The world is no longer at war. We're lucky. This is great." And it's just, "Oh, great, everything's working out." But then they point out, "No, where's Emma? Where is she? Where could she be?
huh?
I don't know." And then they just spend a long time just talking about how great Emma was and like how amazing she is and how like she's never wrong.
As if she
And
wasn't there for the
I
past
mean,
like
the
hundred something
the the
chapters.
only semblance of criticism they have is she was a goody two shoes who always suggested reckless things, but because of
She
that
was.
recklessness, we were all able to be here. Yeah, including the test tube babies apparently that can't survive outside of their
Yeah,
tanks.
they didn't even show that, did they? Did they even
They
show the test
showed
tube?
they showed them teleporting out, but then we haven't seen them like at all. Not at least from my knowledge.
They're at the bottom of the freaking river right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And then they're like, "Oh, we're a family. We're gonna go look for Emma." And then the chapter ends with Emma, and she appears to be in some kind of snowy landscape, maybe like the North Pole or Russia or something. And then a pair of boots start walking towards her unconscious
It's
body.
Mitama.
Hold on a second. Yeah, I was like, did you say the
Mitama.
North Pole? Let's talk about Mitama.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hold on, I'm
It's
not
not
done
over
yet.
yet,
I'm not
boys.
done yet. This
Damn it.
is so
Yeah, me
fucking
neither. I only caught up
stupid.
so far.
Remember when, I don't know if anyone else knew, but this final arc is called the final arc. But it seems like this is setting up some new bullshit. Now they have to find Emma, who knows where she is. She's in a snowy place, and fucking this mysterious man is walking up to her. It's like, what the
She just
fuck is
gets.
this? What was there a catch ever for the promise? What was it? Was it just for her
Knowing
to
New
be
York,
Was it
What if the
just
next like
for
5 chapters are her
but
getting
knowing New York,
cannibalized?
she probably just ended up in like a different part of it. She ended up in like Harlem or something.
was it just that she was gonna be separated? Because that's really lame if that's it. And then, this whole time we're wondering like what if the human world isn't that great? And yeah, it sounds like they went through a lot, but you know what? Everyone fixed it. They got all their shit together and everyone's happy after just 10 years of world war. Hooray. Oh god. I
So wait, who pays for the war? There's no more boundaries. Who pays for the war?
Oh no, no, no. There's the war ended before the boundary thing happened.
Oh, okay.
It's like as a result of the war, they abolished all borders. And we're
Okay.
all one nation. We're all one race, the human race. We're all one gender.
Kim Jong
And
Un himself said, "Okay, we open borders now. Go,
This
go."
really does sound like a fan
Leftist
fiction.
propaganda.
No, this is like a Western like adaptation of Promised Neverland.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh
the
my god,
Netflix, the
yeah,
Netflix version.
it really does.
It's ridiculous. And it just like, what the fuck happened? Because, God, remember the first arc of Promised Neverland? It was just like, it was like kind of horror, and it was just like so unique for Shonen Jump. And then here we are now, and it's like, how? I'm just baffled. I just
I was debating with someone about like Promised Neverland because it starts off really good, then it goes and dips, kind of like any other series,
Yeah,
and then it
the
gets
the
to
the
Goldie
third
Pond.
or so, yeah, Goldie Pond I thought was really
Yeah,
good.
Goldie Pond's good, and then it's like, yeah, after Goldie Pond, everything's like been really bad, and they're like, oh no, it's good. You're just wrong. You're just wrong. They didn't tell me why. They didn't tell me why. They didn't give me any reason. They just said, no, you're wrong. It's good. I don't understand how people just can't like hold a conversation on like the criticisms of like what the fuck happened to this series. I've been telling people like, oh, the anime adaptation, yeah, you can stick on that for like another 2 or 3 years. Just don't watch the final arc when that
It's just
happens.
it's just they keep finding bullshit to just stretch this out more and more. Oh no, now we have to go find Emma. Great, it's another fucking story that's gonna happen.
Like, is it jump pressure or something? That's what I want to
I
know.
don't know. I have no idea because Promised Neverland. I mean, the anime was like decently big, but
Yeah.
not like.
Was it even
demons.
good? I haven't even seen
Yeah,
it.
it was great. It was amazing.
Oh, it was,
no,
it was
the anime
incredible.
is really good.
It was incredible.
It's the best way. It's probably the best way to actually experience it, I'd say.
So, I saw someone pointed out online that maybe Emma got teleported to another time period, which would be a little interesting.
She got
But-
teleported to another demon world.
That'd be fucked.
Teleport to a better manga.
Yeah, to me,
Yo,
sound like
Fire Punch. She's in Fire Punch now. It's all snowy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where this is going, and frankly, I'm kind of baffled that on my anime list, 22.27% of people, they're tied, gave it a 5 out of 5 or a 4 out of 5 this chapter. Which
and
is
then
just
I'm pretty
like,
sure most people said they hated it, right?
no, that's the majority.
Oh my
They're
god.
tied. It's a 27 times 2, that's the majority. And it's just like, wow. I don't know. I just don't know.
In better news.
Did I tell you actually, hold on, did I tell you about the time when I went to the Promised Neverland panel at Anime Expo?
No.
how'd it go?
So it was actually, I didn't want to go there. I didn't give a shit about Promised Neverland back then. And what happened was it was in the same room as the Warner Brothers Media panel, which includes JoJo. So
Mhm.
last year was kind of a slow year for JoJo. You know, there wasn't really much news. So usually Anime Expo will have a dedicated JoJo panel, but I guess Warner Brothers
Yeah.
just decided to just cram it all together. So what happened was it was in the largest room in the convention center, but we found out that they weren't going to be clearing the rooms. So that means if you go to the panel before it, you could stay for the entire day, theoretically. So we got scared because we're like, oh fuck, like it's gonna be really hard to get seats then, right? So we're like, okay, what's the panel before JoJo? It's the Promised Neverland. And so we're like, fuck it, like fine, let's go. So we sneak into one of the lines because it's already going in. So we get really good seats actually. And I look around me and I just see almost everyone there is either wearing a JoJo shirt or is in a JoJo cosplay, including me. I was
Same idea.
cosplaying Ghiaccio from Vento Arreo. And I was just like, yeah, they all have the same idea as us. And so we sit through this panel and it's terrible. It was just a panel not even dedicated to Promised Neverland. It was just dedicated to the dub by Funimation or whatever.
Aw.
And
Oh no.
it was just so cringy because they're like, "Oh yeah, we love this series," and then they played this video. I think it was like the first. I don't know if it was the entire first episode, but it was like a big chunk of the first episode. But they wanted to compare the dub and the sub. So normally you
Oh.
would think they'd play like sub first and then they'd show that same clip and it's dub, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. What they did is they spliced it so you'll be watching the sub, then the next scene it'll be the dub, and it
Oh
just
my
kept
God.
going back and forth like that. And it's like, what the fuck?
It's
This
not
is
how you do it.
terrible. Yeah. I don't understand why you don't just do the sub scene and then the dub scene, right? It's baffling.
Funimation not being
Yeah.
good. What a
Yeah.
surprise.
Big think.
What a surprise.
Mhm. And then and then the Warner Brothers panel wasn't even that good, so it was just like a huge waste of time. The only news of JoJo was, oh yeah, Vento Arreo's getting a dub. They didn't have.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
I don't think
Yeah,
they
it
had.
sucks.
I don't think they had any of the dub actors or anything. They're just like, yeah, it's getting a dub.
Well,
And
I
then-
was listening to some dub stuff earlier. I don't know if you guys have heard Diavolo's like dub voice. It's
haven't.
incredible. It is
Okay.
actually incredible.
I haven't.
I applaud
Really?
whoever
I have
really-
not.
Yeah. I'd
I've-
say the part 4 dub was stinky, except for Kira's voice actor, who's Douglas.
Ray-
the
Raymond.
guy- Yeah, yeah.
DC Douglas.
Oh no,
yeah.
I
Raymond
thought you were
Douglas.
talking about Kira Buckland. She was Raymu
No,
from.
yeah, she's great too.
Yeah.
Love her.
Oh yeah,
Hope
she was Raymond.
Yeah. Kira Buckland, if you're listening, hope you get Jolene because I
Yes.
will be really mad if you don't.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
absolutely
Like,
deserve,
because-
or at least someone
We're-
part. You deserve
We're
some
campaigning for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
But
I thought-
anyways, I like Kira's voice in the dub, and then this new dub's very hit or miss in part 5. I think Abashio, Mista, Narantia,
Yeah,
and
Bryce
Diavolo
Byron.
have some great
Oh yeah,
voices.
Abachio's is great, and I'm not just saying that because I know the voice actor for him too.
Wait, you know him?
Yeah,
You know
he's
fucking Rice Pirate?
yeah, he's cool.
Um,
He's actually he's doing before he even
Yeah, Black Hole
started-
Sun.
yeah Black Hole Sun. Yeah, he was doing
Yeah.
a JoJo fan animation before he even got the job for.
I think the first
JoJo.
episode
Yeah.
should be out soon.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for. I've been following it for a while now. I actually
Yeah, it
hosted.
looks really tight.
I hosted a panel with him earlier this year, actually.
Oh, that's
Oh.
awesome.
Yeah. No, he's
Maybe
super
he'll be in
cool.
it.
Love him. Shout out.
Yeah,
And yeah, Black Hole Sun's gonna be great. If you don't know, it's a new kind of like fan animation for JoJo that's kind of like a
spin-off.
like a spin-off slash like a little more direct sequel to Battle Tendency. It's gonna have a lot more Santana's gonna be relevant, so
Oh,
Yeah,
yo.
good.
I
yeah.
know from what I remember, the series is about the bastard son of Whole Horse
Yep.
traveling across Mexico with this stand, Black Hole Sun,
Yep.
who can talk on his own and has his own like personality, which is really cool.
Yeah,
I forgot what the girl's name was. And they're going to be traveling across Mexico to get to Mexico City or something.
yeah.
Looks
Interesting.
really cool. Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
bet-
looks
I mean,
really tight.
yeah. Animation's on par. Actually, better.
Mhm.
Actually, for the most part, I'd say it's a lot better than Part 4's
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, Part 4's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm so excited for this. But anyways, yeah, so that's gonna be great. But so there was that at the the Warner Brothers panel. Oh shit, I just got a notification citywide curfew. I think people are rioting right now because the new Promised Neverland chapter was
Don't
so
date us.
bad.
Yeah.
Don't date us. Don't date us.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Anyways, so what happened is they also showed that was when they show the premiere trailer for Keep Your Hands Off Eyes Again, which
Beautiful.
I just finished that yesterday.
Based.
And it was great. Loved it. It's not my favorite Yuasa, but it's a solid, fun watch. Highly
If you
recommend.
like,
Looks comfy.
yeah, if you just really like animation in general and just how animation is done, just watch it. Just watch it.
It's just very comfy. It's very low
Yeah.
stakes, comfy anime. So there's that. There is also the trailer for the Mob Psycho 100 OVA, which is great.
Oh,
And then just like a lot of bullshit that I already forgot.
That's most anime, honestly.
Yeah. I mean,
while we're talking, yeah. While we're talking about JoJo, let's just talk about the Jojolion, the happenings in Jojolion.
Oh, we can save that. Let's save that for after the.
yeah, we should
the
save
weekly.
that. Yeah, to the weekly.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm so sorry I destroyed that amazing segue into Mitama earlier. I
Fine.
apologize for
Thanks.
that. But
It's okay. I
yeah,
tried my
let's-
hardest.
no, it was great. Let's
Yeah.
talk about Mitama now, and I'm
Yeah.
so happy with this chapter. All my fears appear to be diluting, and I
I
couldn't.
told you that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you wake
I
up, you see my message,
It was the.
you pog.
It felt like
wait, what?
it was just a build up for a good gag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Okay,
gag.
so if you weren't listening to the previous episodes, the last two chapters, I was really afraid of Mitama because it seemed like it was building up to an ending of some sort. And what happens is Mitama appears to almost like spill a spaghetti to Rene and Rene Haza. Sorry, you always have to
Mhm.
say her full name. For some reason, they always say her full name.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Well,
it's like
just
supposed
call
to
her
be...
the young lady.
Oh
The
yeah,
little
yeah,
lady.
little lady.
Little lady, you know.
So yeah. Anyways, so he disappears, and I was like, oh fuck, is Mitama like building to an ending? And so she teams up, and everyone goes to look for him at like the security HQ. And I want to say this chapter kind of gave me like One Punch Man vibes, just because of like the sheer amount of side characters that we got to meet and just how like kind of wacky they all were. Did anyone else
It
kind of
also.
feel that?
Yeah, 100%. I think seeing like how there's also like rankings because you like
Mhm. Yeah,
in
that was
like One Punch you have like S class, A rank, and then like all that. In this one, it's like you have the 30s, the 20s, the teens, and then the body,
Mhm. And
which I all thought was really interesting.
they were just so funny. Like there's Hanger Master, which is just he fights with coat hangers, and his hair I think is
Oh,
like
no.
styled like a coat hanger. There's the Grandma's Boy. It's just like this normal
Yeah.
dude with a goatee and a tank top.
He reminds me of Tank Top Master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Win the fight.
yeah, and then there was the incredibly oversized hat guy,
Yeah.
sleeve ripper man, and he just like has so many sleeves that are just like torn apart. It's just like hilarious, and I just love like the way that we kind of got payoff with Mr. Stripe, how it turns out like
Yeah.
all the like head honchos are like named after like pattern types.
Well,
There's like
they
dot
told
border.
us that early in the series
Oh, they did?
when like with Yeah, when they
Oh,
first meet
shit.
him, he's like, yeah, they're all like, there's like
Oh,
polka
that's
dot, and like
right. Yeah.
they
But
do
it's
tell
this,
us,
but
but like they
this is
don't
like our
show us.
yeah. This is our first time actually meeting them. Yeah, that
And
was.
I think this is the first time we've actually like seen the commander. We didn't even see like a
Oh,
silhouette
that's
of the
right. That's
commander.
right.
Just like
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
we actually met him.
Yeah, and he's just like some like Monopoly looking dude. Yeah, no, it was a very fun chapter, just like seeing a little more of this world, and then like Babe Ruth shows up,
Yeah.
but then it's like, wait, is that the real Babe Ruth? And it's like, no, he
And
doesn't
it's
know
like, "Oh, why does he
Japanese.
speak Japanese?"
So it's like, what the fuck was that? Like, and then who wants to go over the amazing ending and payoff?
Okay, so since I made this segue earlier, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, well, we don't want to tell you this. Joe, he went to the North Pole,
North Pole.
and that's where the chapter
That's
ends.
sad.
And you see him wrestling a polar bear.
Yeah, so all this time we were afraid of like, Mitama leaving, he getting like a character development maybe. No, he's just been wrestling polar bears.
Are getting stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might be a Baki reference because they do that in Baki.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's a series I need to get into, but it seems kind of confusing, the order. and
So
everything.
I'll go ahead and give the little thing of Baki. So Baki's is in multiple parts, kind of like in JoJo and other
Right.
series. It is currently 5
Part
parts. 5 parts ongoing. The first part is called Grappler Baki. Now this series has still never been fully translated into English. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to find the original 2000s anime, watch all 50 episodes of that.
Okay.
I did that. Oh,
Is it bad?
never again. It's mid. It is
Oh.
mid. And the thing is, you have to go with the dub too because the subs suck. What the subs do is they add in. They're like Funimation subs where they add in their own dialogue that wasn't originally there.
Mhm.
But the dub's the closest you can get to it, and the dub's
Okay.
got some good voice actors. But then part 2, which is the Netflix, which is the
Right.
Netflix anime.
Yes.
That is currently ongoing and is about
Yeah,
to get.
because
its
I
second
watched the
season.
first episode of that one, and then people were
It's
telling
confusing,
me,
yeah.
that
All
I
these
shouldn't do
characters.
that.
Yeah, so what I would recommend is watch part 1, dubbed, all 50 episodes. Then do what you want for part 2, because part 2 and 3, I believe, are all fully translated. I think part 4 is still getting translated, which the first series is called Grappler Baki. 2 is just, I think, the new Grappler Baki. 3 is Baki versus Ogre, which is his dad. 4 is Baki Do 2014, and 5 is Baki Do 2018.
18.
Yeah, they're fighting like sumo wrestlers right now. So the concept, the idea is Baki Hanma is the son of the world's strongest man, the legendary Yojiro Hanma. Militaries want him, militaries fear him, countries fear him. He is the strongest man in the world. He can stop an
Fish
earthquake.
want
But-
him. People
Fish
wouldn't
want
fear him.
Yeah. Basically, he's literally the scariest guy, and he is so powerful that when he flexes his back muscles, his muscles form like this face, and they said it's the face of a demon. That is like where his strength comes from. So the series is about Baki, who really wants to like defeat his father. Originally wanting just face him because he wants to be proud, and eventually after like stuff happens, he wants to just beat his father because his father is a piece of like shit. If you know Tekken and you know like the whole story between Kazuya and Heihachi, that is heavily inspired from Baki. Baki's been ongoing for 20 to 30 years right now.
30
Still,
years,
it's
yeah.
weekly and still ongoing. So
Interesting.
I'd recommend it. I've only seen part 1. I'm gonna start part 2 probably soon. We talk about like anime we're watching at the moment. That maybe near the end I'll talk. But yeah, that's enough Baki for now. Let's go ahead and like move on.
Yeah. And
Yeah. I mean, it was
So-
just a great little chapter of Mitama.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah.
little chapters, so we finally got a new Spy X family.
Listen, I think
And-
we peaked.
Oh,
I think we peaked.
monumental,
And
monumental
it was
chapter.
a monumentally nothing 6-page chapter.
I'm going to describe the entire chapter right now.
Mhm.
We see our Master Henderson, the headmaster of the school. He's basically arrives at school and he's in his office. Another one of the substitutes comes up. It's like, hey, would you like? They just sit down, tea. It's like, yep, our school's great. He walks out of the room and sees Anya, our
Anya.
favorite femc, being bullied. That's it.
Military.
That's the
That's
entire
it.
thing.
That's it.
It's just like
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks for that. He's just this.
Honestly, I
this
think
dude
they're just setting stuff up.
This
so.
dude just
Yeah.
drinking tea, stamping notes, and then looking out a window.
Yeah,
That is
I-
like peak slow cinema.
I know.
And
I think
I'm on board.
what this is basically they decided to take an extra some extra time off so they can storyboard like whatever this next arc is going to be.
Ooh, I'm excited.
That's probably what happened.
It kind of
That's
reminds
usually
me
what
of
it is.
some of the stuff that David Lynch does in Twin Peaks: The Return.
Yeah, you know,
for the-
Japan loves Twin Peaks.
For those of you that don't know, there's like a lot of like quote unquote time wasting in that, but it's just kind of like builds the ambience. Like there's a very infamous, I think it's like a 7-minute long take of just a guy sweeping the floor at a bar. Kind of reminds me of that, and I'm on board. I don't know. Is it?
Now you gotta wait 2 more weeks.
Yeah, that's the problem. And you know, there's no new One Piece this week also.
Yeah. I wish what they did instead with the point ones. I wish it was you got a chapter, and if they wanted to do a point one, they did the point one. I think that would be cool, but it's probably
I
just
mean,
them
you're
setting
probably
stuff up,
right.
you
Yeah,
know?
they're probably just planning a bigger chapter.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something that everyone can talk about for once. Chainsaw Man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I think that's a fair change in topic.
You know what? Let's have Hector talk about this.
This is quite the chapter.
Yeah, interesting. Considering that Power is my favorite character, number one in the polls.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we should address the popularity poll results.
I'll pull it up right now. There are.
I have them.
we
I
got-
have them.
been
So,
placed.
Oh, you did? Okay.
oh, okay. So 10th is Hirofuma Yoshida. 9th. Oh no, I forgot. 11th is Himeno, which I'm surprised that she's not
Yeah.
higher, although she dies fairly early. So.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. 9th is Pochita, which I'm pretty surprised about because he's in like literal just pages.
Yeah. He's cool though.
8th
Yeah,
is
but Pochita's a lad.
yeah,
He's in our hearts. He's in our hearts.
yeah, literally, yeah. 8th is Kobeni Higashiyama. 7th
And
is
now-
Kobeni's
So-
car.
Best character. Best
The
character.
best
Let's skip over
character.
7. Let's skip over 7 and reveal that for the end. 'cause I feel like
Oh,
it's
Too late.
He just said it.
Censor that out.
Late.
I am late.
The 6th is Angel Devil, everyone's favorite
Little
Sissy
specific.
fanboy.
Sissy fanboy.
question mark.
Yeah.
5th is our protagonist Denji, which I'm really
Yeah.
surprised he was that low. It's just
Damn, he
kind of
looks horny
strange.
in that pic. He looks really horny in that pic.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Wonder
speaking
why.
Can you
of
blame
speaking
him?
of horny, 4th is Reze.
Best girl, best girl, best girl.
Yeah, I mean, girl, I guess, demon thing. 3rd is Aki, of course, the lad.
Bro.
2nd, Makima, and 1st, Power.
Let's fucking go, boys.
You know, you're loving her now, but watch when the anime inevitably comes out, she is gonna
Yeah.
become the next Zero Two. Watch.
Yeah, and
Oh.
to the Power fans, I have one thing to say.
Fuck.
Okay.
All right, how about you take it off, Hector?
Listen, okay, so I only really got into Chainsaw Man like I'd say like 2-3 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's great. I'm glad that I got into it now. And yes, Power's my favorite character because she's dumb. Like
Yeah.
she's stupid, but like she's also really cool. I like the idea that she always lies. And like it's really funny. I think she's a really good like comedic relief character. But like
Yeah.
it's also somebody that like in the time of fighting she can pull her weight, even though we haven't seen much of her, but I know that she can.
Yeah.
So
She fucking
when I
hit Denji with a car.
Don't worry about that.
but when she when this chapter came out, I was pogging.
It's Pog. Pog. That's all.
Yeah, because I like her, and
Yeah.
like I'm usually not somebody to be obsessing over like, oh, female character's my waifu, but it was something really cool to see like the relationship, like Denji's and Power's relationship, like grow,
Mhm.
even though it wasn't implied. Well, Denji said that he wasn't really feeling anything towards her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's part of like. So the whole part of like Chainsaw Man is Denji's like an outcast in society. He's been
Yeah, I think
Denji's
Denji's just trying to figure figure out what he really wants, because he did reject Makima's trip, and
Yeah.
to stay with power, and he
But
doesn't
that's
know
mature.
why he did
That
it.
shows a lot of maturity as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
which is really nice.
Yeah, I loved. I was at first when it was like, oh, Denji-kun, take a shower with me. I was just kind of like, okay,
I
here
was kind of
comes
creeped out. I'm not
here
gonna
comes
lie,
the
but
fan service. I'm you
Yeah.
know what? Like I'm okay with that. That's fine. But then when he says it doesn't feel naughty at all. And I
Like,
I
yeah,
got kind of
that's my
confused
boy.
when he said that, and then he elaborates
Yeah.
later on when he says that Makima told him that naughty things feel better the more you know your partner, but even though
Yeah.
he knows power really well, it doesn't feel hot, which
Yeah.
I thought was
That's my
interesting.
boy. He's growing up.
Mhm.
Yeah. Trust no hoes.
what I'm really interested is how the chapter ended, and Denji ended with, "I don't want to know what's behind that door."
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I was kind of confused. I'm like, wait, that I don't know. The fact that he said that means that obviously he probably does want to know.
Well, no,
Yeah.
but the
We
thing
will know. That's the thing.
well, the thing he's
Yeah.
saying above is that he's kind of like
He's okay with how he is.
he's okay with not knowing things because he talks about then like all the people that
They
he's
know
killed,
they hurt more.
that if
Yeah.
he
Fair.
knew more about them, then he wouldn't want
Yeah.
he'd
Knowing
feel
shit hurts.
yeah.
It's best to not open that door, but I have a feeling that door is going to be forced open eventually,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
going
I
to be
agree.
the big turning point for the series.
Mhm.
But I just thought it was really nice to see like growth in Denji, from him
Oh,
going to this
absolutely, yeah.
like insanely horny dude
Yeah.
to like
Still horny.
doing. Yeah, he's still horny, but he's doing stuff that is considered like lewd, and he's not seeing it that way. I found that really interesting.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
changed a lot in just this past arc.
Yeah,
Like,
you know,
fights, the way
definitely.
he, like just
Yeah.
acts,
Also,
but he's still
speaking,
he's still very selfish at the same
speaking
time.
about change, can we get an RIP for Beam and violence?
I think and I hope they're gonna come back, dude.
I'm just gonna say moment of silence.
Yeah,
Wait, what is
Oh, they died. Remember?
yeah,
In
they
hell.
died.
Beam and the Violence Devil are dead.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
think they'll come
right.
back. I
And
think
the Angel
No,
Devil.
yeah, no.
No,
Beam-
Angel's still alive. He just doesn't
No,
have
wait,
his
didn't
arms.
we see Beam recently?
No, in the
No.
new chapter, Aki was
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, I'm
Beam got cut up
I'm-
by the
Oh,
Darkness
that's
Devil.
right.
I'm grateful that I have my
Yeah.
arm. Angel has no arms.
Yeah.
Both Beam and
Yeah.
Violence are dead." And I was
Okay,
like, "Damn,
like-
And
what?"
Kobeni,
Completely
Kobeni
blocked
says
that
she.
out because Beam's my boy. I'm so sad.
He's
Yeah.
so cool. I like them.
I'm so sad he wasn't hired.
Beam I
by
get,
Larry.
but like I don't see them writing off violence just because of like what they like teased with them, like what
And
they
here's
teased
the
with like.
okay. Here's another
If
thing.
he removes his mask, like you're fucked.
Yeah, here's another
Like, he has to
thing.
put that mask on to contain
Yeah.
himself.
Here's another thing that I'm like noticing in Chainsaw Man. We get introduced to these characters that like don't really stick around, to the point that
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
how Fire
like,
Punch was.
I'm just
Yeah.
worried for like any future characters that get introduced. Like, okay,
Again, I see a
Um,
lot of like Tarantino influence where like characters do come and go. They die
Mhm.
really easily.
We talk about random shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
I would say this is Pulp Fiction, and I don't know what I would describe Fire Punch
but
as.
awesome.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction, but
Pulp Fiction, but also.
I still need to start Fire Punch. I know it's just I'm
phenomenal.
I
I'm on the same
restarted it, earlier this week, actually.
I
'Cause, like, it's been a
guarantee you, I 100% think you will enjoy Eric. Like,
Yeah, no, I
fully.
already know I'm gonna give it a 10. And I
Yeah.
already know that I'm gonna like write a fan script for an adaptation.
Yo.
And since we're on the topic of Fire Punch and Chainsaw Man, I'm not going to go too into this, but it has been heavily rumored that both are to get anime adaptations really soon. But those are just rumors. Decent sized rumors, but still rumors nonetheless.
I don't know if I
Oh.
want to see Fire because okay, isn't
I
the
can't.
whole thing in Fire Punch is like the pro tag is like almost like constantly on fire?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the point, yeah, and there's a lot of like weird incestuous like
So
things in the story. A
I'm,
lot
I'm
of
just
religious
I'm imagining
themes.
like what if he's CG?
Yeah, probably. Unless still a movie.
I think CG could like honestly work really well for Fire Punch.
We have seen good cases of CG in anime. Beastars,
Ultraman.
for example.
Yeah, if the Beastars
Beastars,
company is
Ultraman.
Fire Punch, I would like I would pog. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for the right time. I'm trying to catch up to Bleach and trying to catch up to
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen as well, which
Hey man, I'm with you. I'm trying to catch up on One Piece.
still?
just
What do you mean still? It's 900 and something chapters.
started just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just one last thing about Chainsaw Man. Like, this is a bit of a sneak peek, if you will. But I've been like writing a script lately for just like this video I want to make just about talking about Denji, and I think like just with this one chapter alone, I'm gonna have to add like another like 3-4 paragraphs.
A video
alone.
essay on how Denji is a representation of today's youth.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
I'll
just
make
shut
sure
it
I'll have
because
a
people are on their phones.
yeah, I'll make sure I have a synthwave. I'll make sure I have a synthwave intro and everything. Peak experience.
All right.
Because all girls know how to do is
Now,
be bisexual,
we had
eat hot
that-
chip, and
We
lie.
had that chapter of Chainsaw Man. I want to move on to something I started and caught up on the past week. Undead Unluck. It's good,
Yeah.
and I got to use the bathroom, so you guys talk about that.
I mean, is anybody like else
Wow.
caught up?
I am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Under the Look was
How about
really
myself then?
fucking
I thought
he
this
did
new,
it.
this new
He
chapter
did it. He
was-
hit what base is making out? Is that like second base?
I think so.
Yeah, he hit second base finally.
No,
Getting
no,
there, dude.
no. I think first base is kissing, and then second base
Oh.
is fondling. I think.
Okay.
They-
So
we're
so he
really
did,
outing
like-
ourselves on this
yeah.
podcast as virgins.
Yeah, it's fine. But no, Andy's scoring. He's getting there.
Okay, so I found it. So first base is kissing.
He
Second
actually
and-
looked it up.
second base is anything below the belts. Third base is mouth below the belts, and then home is sex.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's gonna be the arc structure for
You
Undead
know
Unlock.
what? Maybe.
I'm calling it now. That's the arc structure.
That'd be interesting. I really did like this chapter a lot. I like how she's like,
Yeah.
the Scar wasn't here before, and she's kind of like trying to dig Andy out. And then
Mhm.
yeah, she just goes in and gives him the smooch when she sees Andy's face start to come out.
Yeah.
I
And
really
the one thing I liked about it, was when Victor was finally, defeated. She was like, "Wow, this is the first time I was like actually defeated in who knows how long." He's like, "Not bad, kid."
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying.
It was nice seeing all the other guys too.
Oh yeah, I love this like
I mean,
union. They're really cool.
yeah.
Yeah, and the art was great too. I love the spread of the massive unlock happening. That's great.
One thing I have to ask, so do Victor and Andy both share memories? Because Victor talked about how, like the whole like organization thing, and if they found like the one guy, they get an additional seat and all that bull crap.
I think Victor has Andy's memories, but not the other way around.
Okay.
Because when he turned into Victor, Victor was like he like started saying shit that like nobody else knew about, and it's like I feel like if Andy knew about that, he would have said something himself too.
Then I just don't
All
think
right.
Andy cares that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I really liked how when Andy came back for a little bit, half of his hair did turn white again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. I love that.
I'm really interested to see where this is gonna go.
Yeah, no, it's the last
Yeah.
ever since the reveal of that kind of like Necronomicon, this manga has been like really interesting me in ways.
Yeah, and
I can already like start predicting things that might happen too, because they mentioned there was different missions going at the same time, and they mentioned that they killed whatever the fire one was, Burn, I guess. And
Is it unburning or something?
yeah,
like that?
and that's for the 11th seat. So they have the 11th seat now, meaning we're going to be introduced to a new member of the Union.
yeah,
I think they said if they kill Spoil, they get Unrepair. I believe that was his name.
the
yes.
location of on repair, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a
Which-
cool power.
Yeah.
You can, like, dismantle
I-
Which
Spoil.
I really enjoy the whole mission thing, and it's like, okay, certain missions like give certain boons where, because I remember when there's like first started, it's like, all right, if you clear this mission, which isn't that difficult, I'll give you the location of like unburning, and then there were one mission was like, hey, here's unburning, go capture him. In return, you get an 11th seat.
Yeah, it's a like a really a what do you call it?
It's like a video game almost.
Yeah, like a side quest type of thing.
I know that we still barely seen like any of the other members other than Shen, who's my favorite so far. We know the name of Top
Mine
now.
too.
We know
Yeah,
that gun, the guy with the guns. Oh, he's so cool.
that guy's so cool.
Oh, these guys are awesome.
Deflecting the bullets and all
And
that. It's really cool.
The thing is, we might be seeing like the death of a lot of these characters and like tons of people like changing out every once in a while too, which is gonna be really awesome. So,
I can see this going on for long.
yeah, at least Demon Slayer around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so interesting, and I'm very happy to see this kind of like happen, because I thought it was just gonna be, kind of like Chainsaw Man. I thought it was just gonna be like horny like fan service, and it's more than that, and it's I really appreciate that. I like when stuff like that is organically woven into the story. Like, Metal Gear is really good at doing that as well, and
Yeah.
it doesn't feel just like fan service for the sake of fan service. And
I really want to see more of the world too.
yeah, no, because we've seen
the
so
world
little
is-
of it. Yeah.
The world is basically ours, but there's a lot of like little extra twists, like rules and stuff.
No
I want to know
stars.
like some of these rules and like
Yeah,
what could
like, there's no
happen.
stars in the sky. They don't have like.
Oh yeah, there were. They never mentioned there were
calendar.
stars. What happened to the stars?
Yeah.
Where are all the stars
Speaking of-
going?
Speaking of stars, we should look up to the stars into space and check on our A-Gravity boys, see how they're doing.
I caught up on that today, and I would say that it's really solid. I really like the character interactions. The characters, like, I like how both teams like interact with each other. I think
Yeah.
some characters are stronger than others. I think our main character Saga really doesn't get a lot of like character.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say he's
like
the main
on-
character.
He's
on
the icon. He's
all
like
the
the
motion,
icon.
like, yeah, like whenever like Jump does those
Covers.
like spreads where it's like the main characters, they always put him on there instead of like
So,
Chris.
but like everyone has their own like distinct jokes and like gags and stuff, except him really.
Yeah.
I really like the series. I think its only issue is during its like plot important chapters. It really relies on expedition dumps
Exposition.
and yeah, just a lot of like explaining. Like they'll do that for like 4 pages in a row, and it's just kind
One
of a
thing-
slog.
One thing I really like about A Gravity Boys, this wouldn't be me if I didn't talk about Final Fantasy for a brief moment. Like the interaction between all the A Gravity Boys reminds me very much of Final Fantasy 15 with like
You
the
could have at
Backstreet
least
Boys.
talked about a good Final Fantasy game.
Okay, listen, but I'm saying like okay, it all right, but
Agent
what
of
I'm
Chaos.
like, all I'm saying is like the interactions felt very natural
Mhm.
and very human.
Yeah, see,
and
he could. Yeah, you see how you said that, and I understood it. He didn't have to bring up Final Fantasy that
Yeah.
time.
too late. But obviously, it just reminded me of Final
Yeah, yeah,
Fantasy.
yeah.
Like space
I'm
road
just-
trip. That's all it is.
Because
I'm
it's a
just
quest for
joshing you.
girl. That's literally
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 15, the quest for a woman.
Yeah.
And then
Hey man, I'm
She
just
dies.
joshing you. That's just lake humor.
Josh, you?
Josh you.
Huh?
Let's talk about Jojolion.
No, not yet.
No, not yet, not yet. No, we didn't
You
even
guys
talk
with your
about.
transitions, I swear.
We didn't even talk about the newest chapter of A Gravity Boys. Really, we were just talking about like a
Yeah.
recap almost.
It was really
Um,
funny.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, it felt like an old school chapter, like from like the first few.
Yeah, when it was like episodic.
Basically,
Yeah,
It's just the higher being like, okay, I'm gonna go check on these A gravity boys, and he sees another higher being is there, and they're like hanging out with him, thinking he's like the other higher being, and he's acting a lot different. He's like messing with his coffee, singing at karaoke, and and then he goes out to torch him, and it's revealed the gravity boys knew that wasn't him, and they were just really scared to say something, and then
Yeah.
shut up.
And then
Yeah.
it's another one, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, the higher being is like, oh, like they really are my friends, and then another higher being shows up, and they think that he's.
yeah.
Oh my god, that was great. I loved that.
Yeah, Gravity
One
Boys
thing
reminds me of Gintama with its like use of just not a lot of plot progression and just gags, and it's good.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
it ends with the higher being just like teleporting them away to some like barren, snowy wasteland, which is hilarious.
one thing I wanted to so like how we saw like at least 3 different higher beings, and we obviously know there's more, but it also makes you wonder what are they doing there exactly? Because like you have
Chilling.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, but like you have the original one who's like, ha, these are my toys.
These guys are
Do you
fun.
think-
No, the
do you
triangle
think-
one was just walking along, and he's like, "Oh, this guy's look kind of interesting." That was it. He was just
That's
walking
fair,
along.
but like I'd be interested to see if there were like other organizations being watched by like other higher beings or something like that. I think that'd be interesting.
I don't know, it's just the shit the A-Gravity Boys get into every week. That's a good explanation of what A-Gravity Boys. Oh, what do these boys get into this week?
Yeah, pretty much. It's nice. It's not much to really discuss about. It's just
Yeah, it's just
it's
comfy.
a fun little gag manga that deserves a little more attention.
And
Oh, wait.
it's always low in the polls, which is really sad.
Yeah.
One thing we forgot to talk about. We finally see what the third hand is kind of like,
Oh yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah.
and I think I just think it's cool.
You'll just see these guys' powers now, so
Mhm.
kind of know a little more of what they're capable of.
And then there's Bone Collection, which you know
Funny
what?
enough, I started that.
I haven't been liking it, but this chapter I actually liked quite a bit.
I'm only on chapter 2, but I think like I like the idea of it.
I mean, it's Bleach.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's literally just Bleach. The idea
I
of
like it, but I like it, but I think it's
Did you read the new chapter, Oda?
yeah, I did. Okay, I think it just goes from like a good chapter to like a bad chapter. Like it just alternates. It's like every other chapter is good,
Mm-hmm.
and so far as only 4 chapters. That means like
5.
I think like practically like 50% of this manga is kind of mid, and the other half is like alright.
So what do you think
The
of
thing
this?
that I think this new one it was alright. I'm happy we're like seeing more of the other like we're setting up some of the other demons. I think that's really cool,
Mhm.
and I'm excited to see where it goes. And like I don't know. I don't know really. I think it focuses too much on the slice of life aspect.
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting to get like a little bit of a backstory for Pyro. Not like backstory,
Yeah.
but just like more context, where it's just like her interacting kind of with other people besides just our
Yeah.
boring ass protagonist.
And then this like the new demon shows up and she goes, "Shooting Doji, that's my BFF." I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just showing that like I guess these like demons have like their own
Mhm.
like relationships
Yeah,
and
and
whatever
that's what I
outside of it.
appreciated. That's what I really appreciated from this chapter. It's
Yeah.
still like it's still just like I'm not like
Yeah.
it's just very much so a mid series that
Yeah, I don't know. I
doesn't
would.
have a lot of creativity, but this chapter, yeah, like you said, it's kind of like giving it at least a little something.
I would like to see it like go somewhere good, but I don't know. It's just not. It hasn't really like caught my intrigue
Yeah.
yet.
No, I
Just
completely agree.
like with Moriki.
Yeah, King that was a
Ass.
really bad chapter.
Moriking's
It was
ass.
I was reading on
pointless,
4chan. A
man.
lot of people really like King on there. I don't
Really?
know.
Force.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, it's up there. They're like Mitama,
No.
King, and I forgot what else. I think
Why?
I don't remember what the other one they said. It was like, yeah, they're all
It's
Yeah,
just
I don't
so
know.
like dull. Like nothing happens.
King, the
Mhm.
literal coolest concept.
It could
And
have
then
been the Dr. Stone for like insects and shit.
yeah, we say this every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
just
because
like,
every week it's ass.
Please,
he
just
it
one
just-
good
it
it's
just
job.
just a
sucks.
fucking he's at a barbecue, he cooks
Yeah.
shit, and then like that's it. Like
It
and then
just sucks.
they keep just like
It, like,
sucking
like-
his fucking like rhinoceros beetle dick. And they just keep
It sucks. I don't like it. It bores
Alright,
me.
let's
It's
they're
a
just
train
like,
wreck.
oh my
dude.
god, he's so
rewrite a chapter of
cool.
King.
Shoko, you should be in love with him. He's awesome. And then Shoku's like, no.
It is the same chapter every week.
Yeah.
Alright, so what we're gonna do right now, we're going to completely write our own chapter of King real quick. Alright. It appears they grow the bug guy up, alright? So he's grown up.
Yeah.
Then other bug people start being born.
Yeah.
And then basically what it is they have this urge and like these instincts to fight
To, like
and
draw
be
to each
king.
other.
Yeah, to be king. Like stands, you know? So like
Yeah.
people are drawn together who have these like bugs or whatever, and they're drawn to fight. And they could like do something really interesting with that. and you can figure out, oh, why did all these bugs become all these human hybrids or whatever? Why do they have to fight? And controlling them all. So that would have been a way cooler concept for a
Yeah.
series.
Yeah, that's what it really seemed like it was gonna be. But I mean, to be fair, it could still be that, but it's just we haven't seen it
Yeah.
yet because we get this praying mantis girl, and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna be the king," and then he's like, "No, you're not," and then she's like, "Oh, I guess I'm not."
Mm. I don't know. I
That's-
feel like how many gag series are going on at the moment? There's like 3 or 4, aren't there? So we
There's
got
more than that.
More King. I think we were talking about how there's like too many magic series. I think there's actually starting to be too many like gag series also.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Would you consider Mashal gag?
It. The thing is, it has the action to carry its weight.
That's true. Ooh,
I think just
this,
like how One Piece or
this was a
something.
great chapter of Mashal.
Mm,
This was
Yeah.
so good, man.
I saw
Mashal
someone
just gets
describe.
better and better.
I
Mhm.
described someone says the new chapter. Mashal sucks. Literally,
Yeah, literally, yeah.
dude. This guy.
Super suck.
This guy might actually just end up becoming my favorite like modern shonen protagonist at this point.
He's a good
This
one,
the
man.
actual strongest and like smartest protagonist in Shonen Jump.
He acts like a just stupid idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the whole
Ha-
thing what I loved about this is it's the first time that Mashal has fought someone that like actually had strength, and I love how
Yeah.
he's like, this puppet has been pumping iron.
Yeah,
Like pumping iron.
everyone on Fit like pogging right now when they saw that.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. I had this idea of like how the more lines you have on your face in Mashal, the stronger you are.
No, don't
What
say
if,
that
like,
on the
Don't
podcast.
say it, don't say it.
All right,
okay, fine. Just fill in the gaps.
there you go. All right, but yeah, Mashal's really good. Read Mashal, so good.
I love just the attitude that Mash gives this puppet guy.
Sassy, it's a little sassy.
Can we also
Yeah.
just talk about how incredibly fast Mash is?
Yeah.
Yeah. 'cause
Like,
He did all that without anyone noticing.
no, the one.
no,
girl-
only one girl noticed.
and she
Yeah.
was questioning whether that happened or not too.
Yeah. He's not only is he like smart to do that and like strong to do that, but he did it like really fast.
His
Yeah.
character's good too.
He's like,
because the guy, he's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to take this guy to the nurse's office instead of like dealing with these guys. So he clearly
Yeah,
just
Because I
cares
love how he's
more.
like, I know I'm gonna beat you, so this is a higher priority for me.
Yeah, and
he's
I
like
really
he's about on the same level as Saitama in terms of like ridiculous, like overpowered, like speed and all that.
I love for them to like do something like with a straight, like maybe he punches a guy and then the panel, like if they do a spread, like the panel breaks and the guy flies into another panel or something, just to like show like the sheer like strength this guy has, because he's so cool.
I love
Oh.
just the shot of Mash when he's just like the smoke behind him, and there's the wham fucking like kanji or whatever, and his like cloak is just kind of flowing. It's like, damn, this guy looks pretty cool actually.
Oh, I love the shot where he grabs the puppet with his legs and then slams its head into the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love how the creator of the series, he draws legs. I love how like they're slant. It's very
Yeah.
stylistic.
You guys ever notice how like fucking like tall his legs are?
Yeah.
It's just stylistic and so aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's just pleasing.
It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been
And
a
like
joy.
and
And just the first volume, I believe the art just got revealed, right?
yeah, it looks
It
sick.
looks
It looks so sick.
good. It reminds me of like those old school Harry Potter covers,
I know.
Yeah.
which is just
Oh.
perfect.
Trying to
Uh,
think of like covers they'll do. I already know this one's Mashal. I think the next one might be Lance, and the one after that should be the, like the red-haired guy. That'd be really cool.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you call it? Oh, like one thing that just comes with like serializing something is like the art style evolving and changing over time. But with like Mashal, like I feel like you can compare chapter 1 to this, and you'll already see
Oh, absolutely.
like an art style change. It's definitely like gone in like a style of its own, and the backgrounds are way more detailed than they were before.
Yeah, faces felt very like sketched on in chapter 1.
Mm.
Well, now they
Yeah,
do
and the backgrounds are really
natural.
bland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Surprising. Just
it's a really good series. And I hope everyone gives it a chance because it looked so shit. Like I cannot believe how good this actually is.
Can't believe we got so filtered.
Yeah,
I
I
most
mean, it
definitely
was
will give it a
honestly it
chance.
was kind of a rough start, to be honest. Just because, yeah, like as it was pointed out, the art
You know what?
style.
It's like a marathon. You begin with a jog, a light jog, and then you go full force in.
Now,
That's how I describe Mashal.
you know what else is going like full force right now? And
Hmm.
has been like ever
Ooh.
since it started is Dr. Stone.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Our predictions were right. Last episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dr. Taiju.
this was just
Dr.
an
Taiju.
excellent chapter. Yet again, another great chapter from Dr. Stone. Talk about
Why am I
that
not surprised?
that cover art is so good with Dr. Zeno and Senku, like the split
I know.
screen.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Zeno, I love how much of an asshole just Zeno is.
Yeah.
So pretentious and full of himself, and I think that's a
Yeah.
really like he's like the
Dude.
complete opposite of Senku. How you
Yeah.
describe you don't like Jimmy Neutron because he's like a really shitty friend or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
and then
Oh.
Dr. Zeno is like that type of Jimmy Neutron
Yeah.
type genius. Where just,
It's literally like the fucking best the best game ever made, Jimmy Neutron versus Jimmy Negatron, where there's like an evil version of Jimmy that has like a goatee and like a mustache, and
How
it's
did
like
these
go.
guys get away with it?
Yeah, how did they get away with this? But no, it was great, and it really, it's funny detail I really liked about this chapter was one of my favorite gags in all of Doctor Stone was always like in the beginning when Taiju like spills the beans to Tsukasa and then Senku does that face.
Oh my.
Yeah, ignore that.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, they kind of like did that again where like Taiju's on the phone with Dr. Zeno and he just tells him like, "I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna give you our revival fluid," and then everyone just like passes out in the background.
Yeah. This guy's incredibly smart too. So I want to see more of his team though, because he's like, oh yeah, these guys stayed like conscious during the entire Stone Game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was great.
these guys are gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's so like it's so crazy that like even though these guys have so much more like kind of pragmatic technology, you know, like guns, farms, and all that, Senku obviously is still really ahead with the revival fluid, and I think that just like shows how different these
Yeah.
two geniuses think.
There's just so much potential.
I wonder if
sorry.
they'll come together. I honestly don't. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if these guys are actually going to work together in the future.
I think at the end it's just gonna be like, we're gonna keep exploring. Zeno, you can be in charge of the American branch of Kingdom of Science.
God,
Because
the-
we see how he wants to run things. What was his like ideals exactly?
who's Zeno?
American.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like, yeah.
We
Just
don't really know his ideals.
I
We
think
don't really know his
he
ideals.
said that to Taiju, didn't he? Like what he believes like strength was or whatever.
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
on a second. I'm gonna try to find it.
He was just talking about that like the select few people were ones that maintain their consciousness, and because of that he feels like they're kind of the ones that should be like on top. They didn't have the easy way out, kind of.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna think of that.
Very like individualist, like driven idea, which is very American.
So, like it is American. Like, yeah, basically his ideals are just American.
When you look at his design in the side by side, he does look a lot like Senku in kind of a way, like
He looks like what?
like kind of like an evil or like just evil version of Senku. If you just look at the side by side,
Oh yeah, I mean like his
It's
hair's
just-
going down instead of Senku's
Yeah.
hair going up and all that.
yeah, it's like Virgil and Dante.
Yeah, like Senku has his hair going down his face, and Zeno has.
This one's more.
Is that a crack or is that paint? Like, that's
Yeah, that's his crack.
That's
that's
a
his crack.
huge crack.
It's so cool looking.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, he's like a little pompadour thing too going.
Yeah. God,
guy's
it's
actually
just
got
such a great chapter. I love just him chilling in his like cellar.
Who's the
Zeno,
antagonist of the last arc? The
the village chief.
yeah, I know someone pointed this out. They both have claws.
Yeah, they both have claws. Yeah, I pointed that out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gonna be
it's
interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah, but oh my god, it's just such a great chapter. I mean, the face that everyone makes when Zeno just says, "Put on Dr. Taiju for me."
Knock your
It's
time.
just so great. Like,
I love it. Yeah, it's in the thumbnail for this episode.
we were
Again,
s-
courtesy of me.
yeah,
But yeah,
we were so excited to see Taiju try to act smart, and then, but I was pretty surprised he does a pretty convincing job.
it's
Yeah.
rubbing
He
off
does
on him.
good.
It's rubbing off on
Yeah, I
him.
really
I mean, when you
appreciated
were
that.
friends with Senku for like how many years? Who knows?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You'd pick up on things. He's got a little
Look at-
mustache when he wears.
If they've been friends, if they've been friends for a few thousand years, it's rubbed off on them.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
I
even
like his little-
realize that he had a mustache.
Yeah, I love that.
That's
It's
so
funny.
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, and then let's talk about the ending. What they're gonna do next? Their next big
Oh
project.
my god, an aircraft
Fucking
carrier.
aircraft carrier.
That
Can
is
we also just point out-
insane.
Everyone else is like flipping out, but Ryusu's like, hell yeah, he's fucking partying.
Yeah, the old man's probably gonna do backflips too because he gets.
I know.
gets to
I
do
love
it
him.
again.
He's actually one of my favorite
Yeah,
characters.
they're so screwed when that guy dies.
Oh,
He's not gonna
My-
die. He's
my
never gonna
favorite
die.
moment when I
I'm
originally
just
got into
saying he's
Stone,
old.
I
He's
watched
gonna
the
die
anime.
eventually.
I eventually I started Dodge Stone with the anime. When I got to the scene where the old man asked Senku, was like, "Hey, can you do that thing with me?" Where he's like, "Oh,
We're
Just-
friends.
yeah." That I actually teared
I
up
love that too.
because like
Yeah.
it really shows that a generational friendship knows no bounds.
Yeah. I love old people, dude.
I know old people
Yeah.
are based. Old people are
So
Yeah.
this episode is brought to you by old people.
Yeah.
Put an old boomer in the
Yeah.
thumbnail.
After you're done with this, watching this episode, go call your grandma, say hi.
Yeah.
Tell her we said hi
I
too.
literally
Yeah.
called my grandma today. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna come visit sometime soon.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't really go out.
Podcast. Grandma, do you know Dr. Stone?
What? What are you talking about?
I only read Naruto.
Little pleb.
Is anyone else still keeping up with Guardian of the Witch?
Oh, I am.
Did you read the new
Uh,
chapter?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
I like this chapter too, actually.
Yeah.
It was-
Guardian of the Witch is it's a series that like every time I read it, I have a good time. Every time I read it, I have a good time. But like, every time
it's
like
just,
I'm not reading, like whenever I like stop reading it and I'm just thinking about it, I'm like, okay, that wasn't like all that interesting, but it's something that I give a lot of fun with, and it's a joy to read, and
I said
I
this,
don't want it to get canceled. I don't want it to get canceled, and at this point, I don't think it will for a while.
I said this before we even started the podcast because we've been reading Guardian of the Witch since day one, and
Yeah.
I said like it feels very classic. I don't really
Yeah.
mean that in a positive way though, because it's just like
Mhm.
it's so just like been there, done that. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm rooting. I'm of course I'm rooting for something like if it does like a story type that we've seen so many times. It's like okay, as long
Yeah.
as it has its own kind of identity with it, that's fine. And I
And
felt,
I think it does,
yeah,
just with the
I
art
felt that
style.
with this new chapter. I loved the designs of the flying artifacts. They
Yeah.
reminded me kind of like old school, like kind of like a mecha OVA or like old like
Yeah.
80s Studio Ghibli stuff. Just like super
Yeah.
like run down industrial, which I really liked.
Like,
'Cause I want them
even if
to
this,
I want them to
even
take
if this gets
advantage.
canceled,
Yeah,
even if this gets canceled, I hope the author just keeps like drawing cool shit.
yeah, because it's just like I wish that this series would take more of its advantage of its like setting and time, and we're kind of getting that with these things. I was pretty happy about that.
I
And
think like Iron, I think Guardian of the Witch would have worked way better as like an RPG or something.
yeah, I could see that. Like maybe like kind of like a co-op thing. One person's the magic user, and the other person's the sword user, and you can
Yeah,
help each
or
other.
just like you just even have like just having those characters in like that world in like a game more so than like a story. I think would be.
Yeah.
Now we talk about a story. Let's talk about the new time paradox about stealing stories.
Masterpiece.
Haha.
Masterpiece.
This was
Blew my expectations. I was not
Honestly,
expecting-
yeah, I
this
agree.
was a great chapter.
Now this mysterious girl, what was her name? The original writer.
Her name is it's Tsukiyano.
You're expecting her to be cold just by like all the art they've shown of her so far. You're expecting her to be cold.
Yeah.
Maybe like she's actually mad at this guy. Then it
She even
turns out,
has blue hair. Yeah.
and then it turns out she's really dopey.
And then it turns out she's a bad bitch.
She's an
She's
airhead.
best girl. It turns
Yeah.
out she's best girl right off the bat. And no matter how long this goes, no matter what girls they introduce, I
Meaning
don't think
that
it's gonna top her.
this guy's still going to be stealing the series, and she's going to make a new series that's probably going to start rivaling his. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what.
It's such a great setup because we were talking about all the different ways this series could go, and
We didn't think of that.
Yeah, we didn't think about this, but this was great. So the idea is, she's like, "Oh, did you steal my idea?" And then she's like, "Okay, don't answer that. Answer me this. Like, what can you make that's yours?" And then he just
That
says,
was such a good question.
"Yeah," and then he just says nothing. And then
You know what,
she's
His,
like,
his brain like shut off for a
"Yeah,"
minute.
but then
He's
she's
like,
like,
I don't
"Oh,
know.
I can't write anything myself too." And
Yeah.
and
I
so
love the relationship between the two and like the
Yeah.
contrast.
And then so she's like, all right, so maybe it was like this. We were influenced by the same kind of fears and doubts from everyone else, and that's what led us to make this identical series. But now I'm gonna try to one up you. So I'm wondering, like,
Yeah.
will
You can have White Knight. I'm making my own thing now.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, like, will this somehow affect the Paradox timeline? Like,
I don't know, maybe.
I kind of honestly, by this chapter, I feel like I know how the series is going to end. I feel like it's going to end with just him learning through all this experience and making his own manga, and it's popular. I feel like that's what's going to be.
I generally think that as the series goes on and he learns different things, the White Knight that was in the future Shonen Jump was actually his. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Oh, like after a while, he just like what do you call it? Like she started ghostwriting, or like the ghostwriter thing like swapped out, I guess.
Well, I was
like the Shonen Jump that he got in the first time was just like the first issue, I think, or something like that. It was early. So I think throughout, like in the future, eventually, the White Knight that was actually there, like the White Knight that started, was how he ended up.
Like maybe he like reads that and he's like, wait a minute, this is like my artwork. This is like how I draw.
Yeah, like he's gonna start seeing things, and at one point, this is what I think. One point, he's gonna try to be original, like without even looking at the.
And it's not gonna work. It's gonna be like
it's not. Yeah, exactly.
What's he gonna do if the series goes on hiatus at some point?
He's gonna go on hiatus too.
Still waiting on that One Piece gag. There's gotta be.
Yeah, there has to be, man.
Okay.
Okay. No.
Why is there
Shut up,
Colin. Yeah, go Colin.
Jesus Christ! I've been trying to speak this entire time. So,
hear you.
So you know how she said she's like gonna try, like how they're so similar, and she's gonna try to create an alternate series.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's gonna happen is, in the Paradox timeline where all the mangas are coming from, he's the one who actually ends up creating the alternate. Well, I was saying she creates the alternate. No, he creates the alternate series that the girl was gonna create.
Oh.
And then they're gonna rival each other.
That's interesting.
A real small detail in the chapter that I really liked was like protagonist Tepe is his name, right? Tepe was talking about how like when he was a kid making manga, it was shit, but everyone liked it. Like everyone in school liked it. And and then the girls like talking about how like she would make like really good stuff, but like the kids would like bully her and like rip it up and whatever. I thought it was really cool.
They're basically
contrast.
like exact opposites, but the same at the same time. So
yeah, it was such a great chapter that laid out a lot of what this could theoretically be about, and I love just like the
again just learning more about how Jump works.
It's just such an interesting series. Like I'm genuinely looking forward to see how this like goes on.
I think this will be around for a while, and I think we will.
I think it'll probably be around for as long as it needs for its story to be told.
I was thinking a good 50 to 100 chapters. That's what I think.
100 chapters sounds about right.
And then we're gonna get White Knight as a series in 2030.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine if they actually. Do you think that the mangaka would actually do that?
I hope so. Just because,
I wouldn't be surprised.
They keep hyping it up, dude. They keep like making like this is the best manga ever made. This gets like
anything about White Knight itself.
I think what
Yeah.
they're gonna do in 10 years is they're gonna release a White Knight one shot and then make the cover
That'd be
of that
cool.
Shonen Jump the White Knight cover. And I would
Yeah.
actually buy that in 10 years.
Yo, wait, hold up. That's actually really clever. I like
Yeah.
that idea.
Just like if the series
No.
does stay big, I think they will.
They keep cock teasing it so hard, dude. I wanna see what White Knight's about. Like so far, all we know is that like there's like a damsel in distress type of thing,
Mhm.
and like that's about it really.
Anything else? Is that it for the roundup?
No.
Oh,
there's
we haven't
Oh, there's
played.
more.
We
My
haven't
Hero,
talked
Hero.
about My Hero. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, wait.
Alright.
You guys talk about My Hero. I forgot to read the new mission, Yozakura Family, so I'll do that right now.
All
Oh
right.
yeah.
So all of us have read My Hero. So that's a first. Everyone here has read My
Yeah.
Hero.
Except for Eric. Little Eric.
So the war arc's still going on. Shigaraki is up and about, and he has been destroying everything.
Yeah.
And this time we see Deku's reaction. We actually get that.
And he's just pissing himself in the corner.
Yeah, I
All
love
the
the fact
heroes
they
are-
reference the early part where they're in the mall.
Yeah.
Where he's like,
Yes.
Where it's like Deku, I can't have a nice girlfriend. I'm a nice guy. That's
And
me.
then and then in the next panel, you just see like Deku's face and like he's legit like shitting himself. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Everyone is shitting themselves because they're like, wait, doesn't he have to like
you saw 5
touch
things.
things from the decay? Why is like that entire hospital
What's going on?
decaying?
Also, there was the part. He was like, hold on, let me pull up the chapter. There's a part where it looked like he was not telepathically. Wasn't he looking at a phone or something?
Yeah, he has like a little chance
Destroy.
receiver. He's
He was
talking
like,
against him.
destroy. That's it. And he looks over. I guess it's a phone. Who was he talking to? On the
Yeah.
Dragon
Oh,
to
Machia.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. And then he gets
Yeah.
up. That's going to be a fight. We see Hawks is being taken, and the toga bit.
The toga bit
Oh.
was
Bad.
crazy. It was so good.
I think Toga might be my favorite My Hero character. I seriously think she might be.
Fat
like-
pussy is back in town.
Yeah. Wait, what was that scene at the end? Oh, the hand. The hand.
The
coming up
hand.
behind her. That
You
was
think we're
Machia.
gonna
That was Machia.
see you think we're gonna see Toga versus Grand Orca?
Maybe, but that the hand. I love the shot of the hand.
The
coming up
hand
behind
is that was so cool. And then it gets followed up by Endeavor versus Shigaraki.
This is the best spread I've seen in My Hero since.
Yes,
oh,
it's so good. Like
I love
Shigaraki just goes from a little bitch boy to actual Chad. It's
so
crazy.
threatening. Like I love the art. I just love how his art style is so
I
different. from
love
everyone else's.
how he's drawn in this one. Like the way his cape is drawn makes it like look like it's actually moving. I don't know how to
You know what
describe
it
it.
looks like?
but,
It looks like a Renaissance painting or something. That's what he looks like. Like that's how he's drawn. Like his pose.
yeah,
Are you looking at the pose right now? The pose of like
Yeah.
his cape flowing back. Well, he has his phone in his hand. He's looking on, and I love how his hair
Yeah.
has no lines in it. It's just pure white. Like
Yeah.
us.
Oh my god.
And this fight. Oh god, I can't wait.
This
to see
fight's gonna be hype. It's too bad we're not gonna see it until like 5
Probably.
chapters from now because
We were
Horikoshi just loves doing other stuff.
it. Hirikoshi
flashbacks,
loves like not really
Cock
flashbacks,
teasing.
but cutting between a fight, showing and
cock
then
teasing. Yeah, and it's
where
like
I think
literally, like
Yeah.
literally, what fight is like more interesting than this? Like
I know.
none.
the number one hero versus probably now the number
The
one
future
villain.
number one villain.
I just love it when Shigaraki just straight up said "#1." You're one hell of a wake up call. I was like,
yeah,
He shows
is-
a lot more
damn.
shit now.
that
He's
is
showing a
so
lot more.
Shigaraki. It's so cool.
he's talking so much shit now.
Exactly, and he's gonna
He's
he's
mature.
gonna hit shit. It's not like he talks shit and then like can't make up for it. This motherfucker's about to fuck shit up.
Because as they originally described him, they described him as a man child. Now it seems like he's actually like mature, like it's just an
Yeah.
asshole. And I love that. The series has like, it had a dip for me, a little bit of a
It
dip,
did.
and then
Mhm.
immediately after the
Yeah,
was over,
I thought the hospital, like, just the fight went on for a bit long.
Yeah. The
Oh,
one
yeah.
thing that I will say about
fat pussy.
just the way Horikoshi's handling this, I feel like he's introducing characters just to make increase the body count.
Yeah,
Like when I
like
when I
that.
attach
What was that
these
guy's
people,
name? Crust.
yeah,
Yeah,
Crust, the
Crust.
shield dude. Like he just died, and it's like
cool.
okay,
Yeah. It's
like it would have
okay.
been different if like President Mike died. Even though I hope it doesn't because I love
No,
President Mike.
Aizawa will
yeah.
probably die at one point in this series, though. I will say that.
I just feel like my hero needs like a big Like,
I think Endeavor. I think it's gonna be Endeavor.
I think it's gonna be Endeavor because like you
character
told
arc's
me
done.
earlier, his character arc's done, and I think it'd be a really like a sad way to go when the man's trying to like fix his like family relationship and he can't even do that.
And he was
Yeah.
getting there. He was making some progress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just
And
looking
now-
forward to these next chapters in My Hero. It's crazy.
A lot of people like say that Endeavor's an abuser. It's like, oh, he shouldn't get away with it scot free. That's not the point of the story.
He didn't get away with it,
He
Scott.
isn't. He's not getting
Free.
away with it scot free. And honestly, there's a chance at some point all the stuff that he did to his family will leak out. Cancel culture.
Hockey's
Yeah,
probably
actually,
gonna
it's
leak it
getting
out.
canceled. President Mike's gonna be like, "Hey guys, I'm putting
He-
a call
yeah.
out post."
He's probably gonna die to Shigaraki, and then like as everyone's mourning him, like
Hashtag
the number one.
Endeavor is over party.
No, like as the whole world is mourning over like the loss of Endeavor, like Hawks, the new number one hero, is probably gonna like leak it all and be like, this y'all number one
We
hero.
really don't know where do Hawks
Yeah.
lie right now. Like he's
I
obviously,
hope Hawks dies a horrible
kind
death.
of a hero, but
Yeah.
did he kill Best Genus? That's the question.
I hope Hawks dies a really
Yeah,
horrible
is
painful
Best
death.
Jean still like in a body bag?
He's in the cum jar. He's transformed into
That's the
transferred into a
quirk
cum
of the
jar.
quirk.
Yeah,
Toto's quirk is literally she basically goes into the cum jar and comes out as someone else.
yeah.
God.
But yeah. Now none of us are reading Jujutsu Kaisen at the moment. We're catching
Well,
up.
we
I
are.
read
We're just not caught up. We're
Oh,
just
you're,
not caught up.
you're done with My Hero?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're done with My
Yeah.
Hero.
Okay, so I read the new Mission Yokozuna Family, and it was nothing, but it was cute. It's just they're walking a dog, and it's a spy dog, so, you know, things aren't what they
Yeah.
seem, and it was fine. Mission Yokozuna Family is like, it's okay. I don't know if I would say it's worth reading.
Soulless Spy X Family.
Yeah, no, it really, like, compared to Spy X Family, it ain't shit. I do really like that it's a Shonen Jump series with a married couple as
Married
protagonists. That's very interesting, but I don't know. It's like borderline gag manga, and yeah.
Again, too many
Yeah.
gags. I
Yeah.
think that's
Really
it
funny.
for all the
No,
stuff that we
no,
actually
there's
read.
one more. One Punch Man got a chapter.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey,
I'm not on that one.
So is it just
I'm
called
on this one.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
I guess
believe
so.
it. Hot.
This chapter was just
Special, to say the least.
yeah, it made me pleased in all sorts of ways. I'll say that. We get more of the fight between Tornado Tsutsumaki, is that her name in Japanese?
Tatsumaki.
Tatsumaki, yeah.
Tatsumaki.
Tatsumaki and Psychos, which does Psychos have the biggest rack in One Punch Man history?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's just so great. You have these two absolutely clashing body types just going at it.
Thank you, Yusuke
Yeah.
Murata.
You have
Yeah.
the heckin' small lolly, and then you have the
Hey,
big titty
no.
mommy girlfriend.
Tornado is not a lolly. I want to
She's
get
like
that.
29 or something.
Yeah,
Like,
She's a short.
She's the older
Listen,
sister too.
short
She's a
women.
female manlet.
No, I want to clear this out. Short women are not immature women. Let's get that out of the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Ta-
Short women are
Tatsumaki
pod.
has a rockin' body. She's gorgeous. And has a very mature body. It's just a very petite one.
I think
Not-
it's
not
the
lolly
it's
type body at all.
it's the anime's fault that like people think she's like a lolly
Yeah.
because that's how they drew her in the anime.
It's still kind of in the webcomic stuff, draw her like a little goblin girl sometimes, but that's kind of part of the gag.
Like a
But then-
gremlin.
I mean, that
Yeah.
still happens in Murata's manga too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love how much he like just still inserts the webcomic art style
Yeah.
at the perfect moments too.
Yeah. So,
One thing I want to talk about with One Punch Man, King has a little moment that just kind of like warms my heart.
Oh yeah,
'Cause,
that
like,
was
for-
great.
He deserves the name King without a doubt.
He
Yeah.
does.
Best character, unironically.
I love. So I've only read up to the season 2 stuff, but I think King's character arc is easily one of my favorite like shonen character arcs.
Yeah.
Ever.
What a Chad.
He's such a good character, and
Yeah.
it just gives the excuse of, oh, why did Saitama like get away with all that stuff? Oh,
Yeah.
this guy took the credit. But at the same time,
Yeah.
he like becomes friends with Saitama and encourages him
Yeah.
and gives him like actual wisdom. Like King,
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Hercule type, except if Hercule
Yeah.
was like there
I
on an emotional.
actually really do like the like how like his story is like intertwined with Saitama's story.
Hmm.
Sure, bro.
Yeah, it's great. And so yeah, this chapter is primarily three things. So number one, it's yeah the fight with Tatsumaki and
Three things,
Psychos.
and two of them are fucking honkers.
The second part is King. We get to see him back with that kid that's possessed by a monster. And then the third is a little bit of Saitama and the gang escaping through this underground labyrinth. And it's just great how everything ties together so well. I loved, yeah, like what Colin said earlier, the interaction with King, where he gets like a true, like genuine hero moment is just so touching and great. And then
So
we,
is this arc almost over?
I don't fucking know.
I feel I
Oh,
don't
no, no,
think
no.
so. I think there's a little bit more to go because you have what happens at the very end of the chapter, and then you have one more fight, I think. Actually, no. So I guess we're all kind of close.
I don't know how
Honestly,
close
with
they
how
are,
much shit Murata adds to the manga, like you never know when an arc's
Yeah, it's
supposed to
true.
be
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, and this upcoming fight is gonna be a crazy one because during this fight, uh, Tatsumaki gets distracted and she has an argument with what's his name? Aki something, the movie star one. Oh, a My Mask, that's it.
A my mask?
A My Mask,
I
yeah.
thought it was Sweet Mask. My bad.
Yeah.
So
Am I?
Something like that.
it might be translated name. But anyways, yeah, so she gets into arguments and then during that she's able to break free and is going to merge with this absolute behemoth blob of a monster that is Orochi's heart. So that's gonna be crazy to see that fusion. And it's gonna be crazy to see Saitama just beat her in one punch, because that's what's gonna happen. That's what's always
Yeah.
happened.
He said it.
He is truly the One Punch Man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, how it's gonna end. It
and
truly is.
actually, new chapter is in 3 days for One Punch
Yep.
Man.
I might just start reading One Punch Man.
Oh yeah,
I
dude.
At this
I need
point,
to catch
you
up, man.
should.
Yeah, I need to catch up too.
Yeah, One Punch Man's great. I started in high school, the manga. Well, no, I started the webcomic. Then I found out about the manga, and I started reading that like day one, I think. I was reading it, and waited for the volume to come out. Bought that, and actually owned like the first 3 volumes. I loved it so much, but like I talked about it a lot with my friends in high school that were really into manga, and then most of those I have not seen since high school, so I kind of fell out of One Punch Man, but I did really enjoy it. And yeah, I recently caught up fully, and it's crazy like this journey that I went on
Mhm.
since high school, and it just has been very fulfilling. It's a great series. I do like Mob Psycho more. Um, but they're very different. Like One Punch Man is just like a complete lampoon of like shonen manga, and then one Mob Psycho 100 is like one getting what he learned from mocking all these tropes and like learning how to execute those tropes like
Mhm.
well.
On his own.
Yeah. And it's like Mob Psycho is like legit like 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Cannot
Yeah.
recommend enough.
Great.
The anime adaptation I will say is better than the webcomic.
I would say
Yeah.
when the anime is done, that will be the definitive way to experience Mob Psycho by far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
season 2 of Mob Psycho is just like unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
Season 2, episode 5, like might be like the best episode in anime history. It's just
Was that which one was that? Was that
Mogami.
when they got into an argument?
It's
Or not an argument?
it's no, it's Mogami.
Oh.
Mob Psycho is just so interesting because it's a story about someone just growing up and like all the emotions they feel inside, and it's really relatable to someone who
I
has
feel
like
it.
anxiety and depression and
I
stuff. And
I
you just-
love what
It's relatable.
I
Yeah.
love what Mob Psycho says about like power and power dynamics. Like
Yeah.
there's a part in I think
It-
it's season 2 episode I want to say 9 when there's the huge like everyone's going crazy in this all these like telekinetic people are just running amok and destroying everything, and you have these two and they break into this shopping place, grocery store, that's it. And they're stealing all this shit, and they're like, oh yeah, fuck all these powerless normal humans, like they're subservient to us. And then Mob appears, and he's like, do you know how to grow bread?
Oh man.
And then they're like, what do you mean? And he's like, that bread that you're stealing was grown by these powerless people, so
Yeah.
you're still depending on them for your own like
Yeah.
pleasure and survival. And it was just like, it's
Mob's
so
a good
good.
guy.
Yeah.
I
Mob's
like
just
that.
like me. He likes
Yeah.
milk. I like milk.
I like that Mob just like talk like Mob Psycho tackles shit like this without like beating you over the head with it.
Yeah. He's really smart for how old is he?
I want to say 14.
He's like 14.
He's very
He's like
he's very
14.
wise for his age, and that's a thing I
Yeah.
appreciate from like I guess a shonen-esque
Yeah,
protagonist.
it's shonen,
Mhm.
I'd say.
Just
Yeah, I looked it up.
So-
Shigeo is 14.
Yeah. It doesn't really say like to beat you over the head with like Mob saying like, oh man, I'm worried I'm not gonna amount to anything in my life, whatever. But like it, you know.
Unlike
The-
like
the-
Promised
Yes.
Neverland that beats you
Yeah.
on the head with its with like message and ideals.
Yeah.
Mob Psycho leaves it up most. Well, it does
Well,
like try to.
a
It
lot
does
of a lot of
explain.
what it teaches is through like the actions of Reagan and kind of Mob's reaction
Yeah.
to them. So it's
Yeah.
very organic feeling discussion.
Yeah.
And I also love just the idea that Mob has this immense psychic power, but he still really wants to physically improve himself. And
Yeah.
I love
s-
the
you know,
physical team.
yeah, I was about to say, so
Some of the best
the
bros in the anime.
what's it called? The Health Improvement Club? The
Yeah,
something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he joins their club, which are just a bunch of like fit lit
Chaz.
jocks. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're awesome. And in any other series, it'd probably be like, oh, they're gonna bully him, but no, they're just like
Yeah.
completely supportive of him the whole time.
Yeah.
Like
They're
they're
like
so selfless and like just how much they want to help him through
like
everything.
he like runs a lap really, and he's like dying out of breath. They come
Yeah.
up to him, they like pat him on the back, and he's like, "Good job, bro. You improved." And they're like,
yeah.
it's something
so
nice
great.
to see.
Like yeah, it's so nice. And then later on, there's this amazing fight in an alley where they get involved, and it's so good. It's I have just could sing praise for
It's
Mob
really
Psycho.
comfy and
I
it's
hope,
just really timeless.
I hope one writes some more series soon, other than like One Punch Man, because I'd love to see his foray into like something new.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
he's
mean-
doing anything other than Punch at the moment.
The next season of
No.
Mob Psycho will be its last.
Yeah.
We don't know when it's coming because it was like what, like a 3-year gap between 1 and 2.
4-year.
4 years. Oh, Jesus.
I would say let's say maybe next
No,
year.
no, it was
probably
it was
at
3
least
years.
2
Never mind. But yeah, just give them their time. It's Bones there.
'Cause they do
That's-
take their time. Bones,
Yeah,
like,
they take their time with Mob. That's why it looks so amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best looking anime in terms
Yeah.
of like animation.
even like
and
the shots
visuals.
that don't look as good are fine because as an adaptation of Mob Psycho and one's art, it like
No, it
Even when,
perfectly translates one's art style.
None.
It's so
Even
good.
when it's not like something that's like giving me my feelings or whatever, it's just like a really solid series. Just like I just have a lot of fun watching like Mob and Reagan and Dimple by extension go to like perform exorcisms.
Yeah.
Like the episode when they're like investigating urban legends. I love that
Yeah,
episode.
that's a great episode. That was like I think season 2,
Just
episode
them-
2.
Yeah, it's just them just doing random shit and I love that.
very slice of life, but like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so great. And then they meet that guy that like you think he's kind of like a quack, but it turns out he actually does have psychic ability.
Yeah.
It's so
I love how they
fun.
handle psychic abilities in the show. Like early on, like in the first season, they're like, "Oh, psychic abilities are really minor for the most part, except for like the villains or whatever." And then like
Real
Plot,
quick,
yeah.
can you guys hear that?
they like improve on themselves.
Yeah.
There's a fun cop cars outside. I'm really sorry if that's picking up on the audio. But yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Well, they're just what they're like. They're sitting in the room with us. They can hear the riots
Yeah.
going on outside.
Yeah.
They
It's
can
like
feel
that.
the
It's like that
flames.
meme of the
When you
neckbeard,
pause-
and he like looks
when
out his
you
window,
pause-
closes the blinds, and then it's like sits
That's part
back
of it.
down. Yeah. I think that wraps it
No,
up
when
for
you
the
pause
stuff
the
for the
podcast-
catch up, right?
Yeah.
Jojolion.
Yeah. So
Jojolion is finally
yes,
I caught
we're
up.
Finally gonna discuss Jojolion on this
Aw, poor
podcast. Oh my
Hector.
god. Okay.
Hector.
Oh
Oh.
no.
Oh well.
It's
Okay.
spoiled.
I will say normally I don't give a shit about spoilers. In case you can't tell, none of us do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for
Read
Jojolion,
Jojolion.
if you are not caught up, please stop listening. Please just read it. Like, why?
Don't fall for
Why are
Jujutsu
you
is
not
bad,
reading
man.
it? Are you really gonna like wait to see if it when it ends and you're just gonna binge it? You know how long
Because that's
that's
gonna
gonna
be in a
take?
few years.
At
It's
least,
gonna be in
yeah.
a few.
I've known so many people that got into JoJo, and then they uh they read Steel Ball Run and all that, and then they get to
Yeah.
Jojolion and they're like, no, I want to wait, and then like 6 years pass almost, and then they just stop caring, and it's so fucking
Yeah.
heartbreaking, and like just denying yourself the opportunity to partake in these like monthly discussions, which are like the highlight of my month sometimes, honestly, is like just when
Yeah.
these new chapters come out, and the story is just gives so much time for it to feel like fleshed out and like
Yeah.
lived in, and you're discussing it's like Twin Peaks also, which is my favorite fucking piece of media ever, when season 3 came out, and just like experiencing that, being surprised, seeing new things, and it's like part of the zeitgeist with everyone. Just please read Jojolion, and that's my rant there.
All right. If you don't know what Jojolion is about, it's about
Neither do
Well,
we, but it's good.
if they're still listening, we can assume that they're Jojolion
Yeah.
fans, so we can
Yeah.
Would you
skip
guys
the
You know what
would you guys
JoJo's
mind
about?
adding me when you guys are done talking about Jojolion?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just Stefan. I'll let you know.
Hmm. So Hector is blind.
Yeah.
Is he on?
He's gone.
Okay,
He's no longer.
so
now, all right,
Um,
guys, let's talk about
wait.
how fucking Toru, the absolute Chad.
Based.
Yeah.
yeah,
If you
He's
okay,
been
The
my
Wonder-
favorite character.
Dude, it's
Josh,
insane.
you're about to derail the crazy train. It is
Yeah.
happening.
It's so
Put that
crazy.
in the thumb.
It's crazy because, man, Arda said like last year, he was
Year and a
like,
half ago.
yeah, year and a half ago, he was like, dude, I love Toru. I have a feeling Toru's gonna be an important character. And
Yeah.
look at him
Oh.
now. He's probably
Dude,
the
ever
main
since-
contender for main villain.
Yeah.
Although, you know
Ever
what?
since he was first introduced, and he was just like. He was just like this like really like cool goofy guy that was
Yeah.
like, "Y'all still with Sean? Remember when we would fucking the parking
So
lot?"
Yeah.
Ever,
I love
ever
the
since he did,
fact that the main
yeah.
villain's part might just be the main love interest X. That's actually like
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, there is something I
Toru-
want to address, is that we're always talking about main villain this, main villain that, final boss that. And as fun as it is to do
Who's
that,
your
and
main villain?
I love doing that, but we have to kind of acknowledge, like, maybe Jojolion doesn't need like a quote
Doesn't need
unquote
one.
main villain, you know? But I mean, in terms of like just a villain that has had a lot of influence on the overall plot, Toru definitely fits the main
It's
villain
like
role.
what do you call it? Jojolion like reminds you of like something like Bacana or like Dora or something where it's like
Reminds you of Twin Peaks a lot.
where there's just like so many characters and so
Yeah.
many different plot lines going on
Exactly.
at once, and just because of that doesn't need to be like a big villain. It's just seeing how these like stories like work with each other.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
But I mean, like,
I had
if you really want a main villain though,
And
Toru.
with these new chapters, everything is coming together finally. All the
Yeah.
threads are turning into a knot.
well, almost all of them. We still don't know what the fuck's happened with Kyo Nijimura.
Yeah.
or the mom.
Oh yeah, Kato, yeah.
And probably explanation, more walleye stuff. That could be where the final fight takes place. We're discussing it might be the stadium or maybe
I'm
on the
thinking
walleye
the stadium,
themselves.
personally. The
Yeah,
one
makes
that
more sense.
what if the stadium is actually wall eyes?
Whoa.
Oh.
So I had a crack house theory or crackhead theory a while ago that Tsurugi, Toru, and the head doctor were all the same person.
Yeah,
I think that still might be on the table, but definitely now we're seeing Toru and the head doctor are definitely connected somehow. And
yeah,
if it is that we're getting what I've been calling a reverse Doppio, where Doppio was two souls in one body, right? And then with Toru and Satoru Akefu, the head doctor, it appears that they're one soul in two bodies. That's what I mean by reverse Doppio, because I've kind of confused people in the past with that.
It also like
so-
reflects
Wait,
against Josuke.
Colin, what was that?
I know there was a book that Rocky wrote, and like one of this, I think it was like George Joestar but like one of the stands was literally like a police officer in New York.
Oh yeah, it was NYPD Blue. That
Yeah,
was
and I was like, this is what, like what's kind of reminding me of
just the
in
fact
the
that it's like
sense.
apparently like a sentient human stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, man. It's insane.
It's either I have an idea that maybe they're connected by something and they have their own personalities when they're not in the body,
Mhm.
but there's like a personality in between them that's jumping between their bodies. That's an idea. I think the idea that two souls and one soul and two bodies perfectly like reflects Josuke being like two people in
Oh
one
yeah,
body.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be perfect.
So it's very poetic. Now, how are they going to pull this off in a video game? How are you going to do your
Yeah.
anime
Um,
fighter for JoJo with this?
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
They'll have like paradigm shifts, kind of, where it's like you change the fighting style, I guess.
Yeah. So, I
Oh,
guess it's
I was gonna say, back to Final Fantasy, the City of Final Fantasy, great fighting game. Cecil swaps between Dark Knight and Paladin, so
symbolic.
that's what
Yeah, Rocky
I'm
knows
just-
it up.
Interesting.
Did you
Hold on,
really just
guys,
wait for
I-
Eric to like say be right back so we could talk about Final Fantasy?
Guys,
no, because like when we're talking about the fighting game, that's where like I thought, oh,
shut the fuck up. I got a package, and I know what it is.
Oh!
And I know what it is
What is it?
already. It is the 4K Blu-ray box set of 2001: A Space Odyssey, which was on sale on
Yo.
Amazon for $20. I am
Damn.
so
Based.
happy.
How much was it normally?
Like 45.
Wow. So me
What?
and Eric got a package today. During
I'm
Yeah.
so happy because, believe it or not, 2001, one of my favorite movies of all time. I've never seen it or owned it at home in anything but standard definition. So I
Damn.
did get to see it in IMAX, and that was like a life-changing life experience. I just realized how redundant that sounds, but I cannot wait to pop this baby in and just see how good this film looks.
pop
It's
it in
just
your.
incredible.
Just one more thing about Toru. I think Toru is the best character Rocky has written since Johnny Joe started.
Eh. We don't really know much about his backstory, well, other than like he was his ex. I'm really interested to
I
see
don't
like
care.
Well,
I love him.
I
what's
remember
going to happen with
he
him.
said something to Yasuo before about how he kind of like, I don't know, he said something about like feeling like not in control, didn't he? I swear he did when they were like
Yeah,
sitting on
maybe.
like
Yeah.
a stoop or
Yeah.
something. So
He's the
that
most mysterious character right now, I'd say.
yeah, and can we talk about how when they ask like where Satoru is, the head doctor, and they say, "Oh yeah, the head doctor is here. He's
He
taking
took
off
off his lab. He took
he
off his
took
lab
off his
coat.
white lab coat. The first time we see Toru before that scene, he's wearing a white lab coat, and then from then on he doesn't.
I have a feeling that's like
blown.
symbolic because there's this after that he says, "Oh, he's right behind you. He's walking away. He's clearly some old guy." But maybe that was just symbolic to like symbolize that yeah, this guy's and the head doctor.
Crazy insane, dude.
I still think that Satoru Akefu is a real person, like a person. It's not a stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that because we've seen a stand, you know, when Gappy was in the stairwell
Elevator.
elevator, yes,
Or
Yeah,
and
stairwell.
yeah,
yeah.
I thought it was a stairwell. Anyways,
no,
so
you see it first in the stairwell and then the elevator.
yo, that's right, yeah. So we have that, and I think that might be Toru's stand because
Yeah.
they both have like suns on them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they do.
That's where the theory people are like, "Oh, is his name Black Hole Sun?" That was another theory, but that's too on the nose.
And so there's that, and then because you have to remember that the stand reflects what like the stand user desires, right? So
Mhm.
Satoru's can be, you know, obviously I don't want to be pursued, right? So maybe
Yeah.
the calamity is his stand, and then Toru's stand, if it is something to do with like if he was saying before, I really should reread that chapter, but I'm pretty sure he said something about like feeling like he wasn't in control of things. Maybe that stand allows him to take control in a way like that, and maybe he has some kind of pact with Satoru, or
Maybe that's
maybe
what the name Wonder of You kind of represents. So
Yeah, because
Some of
the song Wonder of You, I mean, there's so many great theories out there. Shout out to Aeon Star about
Aeon
that
Star, my
song.
man. Yeah.
But what's interesting about the Wonder of You is if you if you look at the lyrics with the context of Toru, some pretty alarming stuff. So it says, "When no one else can understand me, when everything I do is wrong, you give me hope and consolation, you give me strength to carry on. And you're always there to lend a hand in everything I do. That's the wonder of you." So this sounds like, and obviously the original context, this guy's saying he's in love with a girl, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Toru is talking about like his quote unquote relationship with the head doctor, how that he's able to kind of have this power because of him, you know? Maybe
Yeah, we
it's
don't
what,
even know if Taru's a rock human or not.
yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's insane. There's so much mystery with him. And yeah,
So,
it's like you're always there to lend a hand in everything I do, and they're very clearly colluding together, which is very interesting. The
It
other,
started out.
huh?
Go on.
Well, the other song that he plays is Crazy Train, which I mean,
Crazy Train.
that's the doctor's head stamp without a doubt.
yeah, we all know Crazy Train. It's a great fucking song. But
Yeah.
so Crazy Train, I mean, obviously it's like, oh, okay, it means crazy. Well, yes and no. It's the song's actually about like the Cold War and kind of like the fear of being like led into like destruction. That's what it's
Oh,
that's what it's really about.
that's
It's
clever.
yeah, it's because it's about like being chased on this railway that's leading to destruction. You know, I'm going off the rails on the Crazy Train.
And
So
then, chasing him ends up in disaster. That's such a interesting stand idea. There's
yeah, I
like,
mean, there's one verse where it says, "Heirs of a cold war, that's what we've become. Inheriting troubles, I've mentally numb. Crazy, I just cannot bear. I'm living with something that just isn't fair."
I
Which,
easily think Part 8 might have or easily the most complicated stand abilities.
oh
And
yeah,
they're just
Yeah.
so
no, yeah,
fascinating.
Endless Calamity is like one of the craziest powers like in all of fiction. I think
I
it's
I love the way that Josuke has said he wants to beat this guy.
oh my god,
I won't chase after him.
I'll
I'm
make
gonna
him.
He's gonna chase me.
Yeah,
The question is,
Get
where? Is it gonna be the hospital, the stadium, the wall
well,
eyes?
yeah,
Well, I mean, you see
yeah,
him.
he's
I think he's
chilling.
still.
He's
He's
still in the
chilling
safe
there.
room. Yeah, okay,
I'm pretty sure he's.
we need to bring up though that there was a mistranslation before where it was you can't pursue him, but you can be made to pursue him, which is a completely different thing. Because that led to a
Mhm.
lot of theories that we had of like maybe he's gonna get Blue Hawaii to turn him into a zombie. But it makes a lot of sense that like, you know, I can't pursue him, but he can pursue me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I
great.
was reading that and I was a little confused by like how he said
Yeah.
it, but now it just makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay. It started out as a joke, but like honestly, the whole thing of like Joshua dealing the Crazy Train might actually happen. Just because he's been having his big character arc
hmm
over the chapters,
Yeah, I
and
mean, Joshu saved Yasuo's life.
yeah. First of all, if you're a Joshua denier listening to this, we don't want you.
Yeah.
Die, go to hell.
Oh.
I will say this
But
like I said about One Piece fans: you should slit your wrist and you should hang yourself and you should drink bleach. That's what Joshua deniers
Yeah.
get.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, he's been having his character arc, and I wouldn't be surprised if that like ends with the crescendo of Toru about to like be run away scot free, and then he just gets stopped and like his like legs fall apart or something, and
Hey,
it's Joshi
Toru, you
derailing the
must have a
Crazy
few
Train.
screws
Cruise
loose.
loose. If you think you can make my Yasuo-chan cry,
That's
So, any
great.
predictions on what family members are going to die by the end of this?
Mm.
I think Norsuke has a chance.
Jobin.
Jobin's
Jobin's
He might
dying.
already be dead. He might already be
Oh
dead.
yeah,
I
we
don't
haven't
know.
even brought that up. Yeah, there's a very real chance that Jobin is dead, or is about
dude,
to die.
we legit didn't talk about anything aside from Toru, just because of how good
Yeah, he's a
Toru is.
great character.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about base reporter son. Anyways, but let's talk about Jobin real fast. Jobin is so interesting because right before this whole calamitous scene happens with him, he gives this really red flag sounding speech to his wife about like how much he appreciates her and how much he appreciates that she's there for him. which is like,
Mhm.
oh no, something's about to happen, huh? It's
Yeah.
so like, well, this is my last day on the field. I'm so happy to have all these friends here. Oh no, I stepped on a landmine.
No. The
And-
way he's like, quote unquote, not died, just injured, actually is like kind of terrifying.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
it's so inconspicuous at first. Just
I
a
know
hairspray
probably
can.
didn't feel it. He probably didn't even feel it. He
Yeah.
he didn't feel it for the longest time.
It's like in a Roadrunner cartoon when the coyote
Yeah.
runs off and then doesn't fall until he looks down.
Can someone someone grab image of him bleeding out on the ground and then put "That's all, folks" over it. That's all you gotta do.
That's
But
fucked up.
what was I gonna say? Shoot. Oh, I was gonna say, I saw someone mention this. I showed it to Arda that Speed King, like his new art style, he kind of looks like a Wojak. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. He really
Okay,
does.
That's okay.
Looks like the ceiling
This is like
Wojak.
an elephant in the room that I need to address. The way Araki's been drawing Speed King lately has been like really lazy.
Yeah.
He's been like, I've been noticing he's been like copy pasting it a lot. Which
Is he? No, is he still doing it
Yeah.
by hand? He still does it by hand, right?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
it's the same fucking drawing. Like I'll show you comparisons.
Okay.
There are instances where it is the same drawing. Like the one that he likes to use a lot is that one cover. I think it was during Blue Hawaii, where it's
Mhm.
Jobin and then in front of him is Speed King.
Yeah.
He really likes using that drawing. I've counted at least 3 times it's appeared.
Speaking of Blue Hawaii, real quick, I think my favorite out of context JoJo image of all time is Jobin putting on gloves and grabbing
Yeah.
Kentucky Fried Chicken and throwing it around the place.
Chicken.
Oh man, this shit's
That
That
so
was like
funny.
that was really good, but I also really like the fucking golden Lamborghini in the trees. How do they do
Yeah,
that?
how? I'm
Yeah.
assuming,
They probably put in a bubble and then floated it up there.
or
How do you
maybe,
fucking fit that in a bubble? How do you fit an entire fucking?
But,
How do you
but,
fit
okay,
himself in a
Arda.
maybe.
No, I'll say. Do you want to go first? Because I was gonna say because they literally had entire people in a bubble, so it's like
Have
it's
they?
not too hard to fit.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yes!
Pressure.
During
no,
the
no,
Port
no,
Thomas
no.
fight.
Maybe Mamazuko
Oh.
Rai used doggy style and like made
Yeah.
a pulley system and hoisted it into
Don't
the
worry about
tree.
There's another bit I remember. I remember when Rai is looking at Josuke's bubbles and he says, "Wait, these are just strings. These aren't actually bubbles. They're like strings being rotated." And I was literally just
Yeah.
thinking, could that be like a reference to the fact that with Johnny as
Don't
well,
forget-
like spin and everything going
No.
on? I don't know. I doubt that might. I mean, that could come back. I don't know if Rai was
It
like
could
pointed
be,
out.
it could be a way of like, it's kind of like a fusion of the original Soft and Wet's abilities and Killer
Mhm.
Queen, because Killer Queen
Yeah.
in this universe, his ability is he can make like a bunch of mini bites the dust. So
Yeah.
maybe it's that idea. It's like it's the soft and wet bubbles, but they're like made out of these like really small little things.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I don't
It will
think
come
it's-
back. That has to come back.
Josh performs a perfect rotation on a nut or like a bolt, and he fucking drives it into Tor's head.
Oh
That
my
would be
god.
awesome.
I can't wait.
Oh.
That's gonna be awesome. But we should point out that when Jobin falls and the Rokakaka fruit like crushes his chest even more, and then it rolls
Yeah.
away. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
wondering, is Mitsuba gonna come and bring it to him?
Mhm.
Is something gonna happen with Tsurugi? Because oh my god, there's just so
Well,
much speculation.
We don't even know
right
what
now.
Josuke lost when he
Well, no,
ate
because
his-
we know we know 13 minutes before the Rokaka fruit blossoms, Tsurugi looks fine,
Yeah. And
completely
we
fine.
have 2 hours for that to happen right now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true, but like,
so it's not a lot of time.
but at least we know for a fact that Tsurugi's okay, because
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we're getting like if we're gonna experience a bites the dust type scenario.
Maybe.
It's really hard.
Soft and
Josuke
wet bites the
stand up-
dust.
soft and wet involves, yeah.
Soft and wet. I don't know what's another song with that album. I don't know. Oh well. But yeah, it's really good so far.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about like what they'll do for the anime. I clearly think parts 7 and 8 will be 2 seasons each. I think the halfway
At
point
least.
they will end season 1 at the vitamin C fight. That will be
Yes.
the big climatic battle, and then they will begin the next season with Milagro Man. Milagro Man.
Milgar.
Milagro.
Milagro Man.
Yeah, they'll begin the next season with that. Have a little lighthearted romp at the beginning, and then continue.
What about
I think-
Snowball Run? When do you think that'll be the midway point?
I
I think
need to-
I
True
think
Man's
Catch the
World.
No, I think Catch the Rainbow.
I have to look. It's been a
Mm.
while since I read Steel Ball. I don't remember what the halfway 50-ish chapter would be. Somewhere around that.
The thing I was thinking is that it was
Maybe
gonna be
more
3 seasons. It was gonna be what do you call it? True Man's World, and then like Civil War, or like both, or like what do you call it? Like the arc right, so whatever it was, and then like just Funny Valentine.
We looked that
Yeah, I
up.
don't know.
We looked up the list of stands just to remember.
Yeah, should we drag Hector back in here?
Any other thing you guys want to
About
say?
Jojolion?
Oh, I have the chapter list right here, so I can look it up.
About Jojolion, I mean, it's just been an incredible ride, and
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been going on for so long now and we're still
Actually,
It
wait.
was now the longest part.
Yeah, it's
I
the
have
longest part.
one quick question.
Mm.
Is it just did Tsurugi's stand evolve?
It's either Tsurugi's going through a stand evolution or it has something to do with the curse. We don't really know yet.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause
I'm leaning on evolution because of the
Oh,
fact
yeah.
he's turning into origami.
Okay, I think I know where season 1 might end. I think it's going to end around Wrecking Ball. I think that might be a good place to end it with Waka. It's a Magenta
People?
and Weka
Yeah,
People.
look
I
at
think-
people.
I
That's
think
way
that-
later on, dude.
That's way too far, man.
It says that's around the 50s. That's around like chapter 50.
Dude, Steel Ball Run is like
Yeah.
93 chapters.
Yeah, let me see-
95.
let me look what's
95.
in the, let me see
That's-
what's in the 40s.
Yeah, 40s more like.
Tubular Bells. I don't.
I'm
I guess
I-
Sugar
I-
Mountain.
I-
Sugar Mountain could work.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be like 3 seasons.
I'm thinking Catch the Rainbow.
Silent Way. Oh, Silent Way would be a good one too. And there's just a lot of good choices. It's
Catch
hard
the
to say.
Rainbow is like what, chapter 38 or something?
Silent Way.
Yeah, something like that. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna drag Hector back
Yeah,
in there.
Catch the Rainbow would be 39. They could end it there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's really it for Jojolion, though.
Yeah, I mean, just incredible
More to come.
series.
More to come.
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm
I
back.
guess
And,
now. How long are we in the recording right now?
Attack.
Almost
Oh.
2 hours.
All right, let's
Titan.
talk about
Attack on Titan!
Attack on Titan.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about Attack on Titan. Fuck.
All right, for all you Attack on Titan anime only watchers, your balls are about to start
Yeah,
quaking.
we
That's
got
all.
You are not
fucking
ready.
bombshell news that Attack on Titan season 4 is still coming, but it is by Studio Mappa.
Chad Studio Mappa.
It
Gonna
looks
miss
so
it,
good.
Can I miss Wit? They're good. I think Mappa's just as good. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering
Mappa.
if there's no more horses in the season 4 stuff, I believe.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
so
we
If
military.
any.
I mean, Wit is like the best.
Attack on
horses.
Titan has pests in need of horses.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now we
Literally,
can.
literally the only reason why like Wit Studios is like ideal for Attack on Titan, like Vinland Saga, or even like Steel Ball Run, is because horses, but they don't need those anymore.
Just throw them out the window.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Mappa is made by ex-Madhouse employees, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and the co-founder of Madhouse.
Perfect.
So
And
It looks
okay,
incredible.
I know their more recent projects have been Doro. They're doing the
Dorohedoro.
upcoming. Yeah, they did Dorohedoro. They
Yeah,
did Doro and
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Dorohedoro. Jujutsu.
Yeah.
So
okay, just fucking Mappa's already one of my favorite studios. They're just such an incredible, consistent studio with
They've only
whatever they
done
make.
one series.
No,
they
Really?
did a lot.
they've done a few that I like.
They did
Okay,
the Gantz co-creator series.
they did Inuyashiki, which is like until like Ultraman and Beastars came out, that was like the fucking like golden
Definitive.
standard
Yeah.
for CGI for me. So they did Inuyashiki, they did Terror and Resonance, they
Oh,
did
shit, what the
Doro.
fuck? Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
For some reason, I thought they were like brand new.
No, they've been around. They did
Yeah, no.
the
Oh,
third
they
or
did
fourth season.
Doro. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did. They started doing Hajime no Ippo after Madhouse stopped doing it too.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
and so yeah, they're just a really consistent company. But like, just this like these 3 series that they have on the like in the works, which is Jujutsu Kaisen, God of High School, and Attack on Titan season 4. I think this is gonna put them into like legendary
yeah.
Oh yeah,
status.
absolutely.
And the thing is, they
This
don't
is-
seem as picky as like Madhouse, because Madhouse put out like maybe
Yeah.
like one a year, but these guys are like pumping out high quality. Like,
This is a good studio. Keep an eye out for Mappa. Don't fall for the Mappa is bad meme. It's good.
all freaking two of you
Yeah.
on our friends
Yeah,
who keep freaking
fucking
saying
what do
that.
you call it? Yeah, Chris, if you're listening to this, I hope you fucking die.
What's
I'll leave
his
my
fucking
comments.
deal with Mappa?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know that
No,
you see. Oh, Dora, oh no.
Don't
No,
get this.
they wouldn't-
Don't make this personal now.
No, too bad. He knows. He knows.
Eric's making money off this too.
Yeah. Uh,
But
yeah. The art style is like changing a bit. It looks more faithful to the manga, which is
yeah,
like
people are complaining about that.
how's that a bad thing? It looks
don't
like the manga.
So you know how like there's that Levi shot they have now where he's got like a
Yeah.
smaller eyes. Someone's like,
Yeah.
"What happened?"
Ooh,
Like it looks more
ooh,
accurate to the
fucking-
manga, and he just says,
fucking-
"Fuck the manga." I was like,
Oh,
"Okay,
here,
cool.
here,
The series goes on hiatus forever."
I'm gonna take a 480p screenshot of like a smear frame from an action scene and use it to prove why this fucking scene is gonna be bad. Like, shut up, dude.
Dude, it looks
Yeah.
amazing. Let's talk about
They're
best
alright.
girl. Best girl is in the Piek.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
who's
pretty
the best
great.
girl?
She's pretty great.
Other best girl, Gabby. She's a real shot. She's a real shot. Keep an eye out for
Fuck
her.
She's a real shithead.
Fuck off. That's
I
not
love
even,
Gabby.
that's actually not funny.
Yeah.
Dude, just the little snippet we saw of the Warhammer Titan was just like
Oh,
so
yeah.
so perfect. Like that's what I fucking wanted. And
They,
Dude,
they showed Levi
I-
getting like nay-nayed by the Thunder
Yeah.
Spirits.
dude, I pogged so fucking hard when I saw the fucking scene of Aaron putting on his hoodie. Like they did it. They did it.
Chad, Aaron.
So
yeah.
apparently, a lot of the animation was done for the trailer, of course. Well, you know, whatever. That will probably be in like the final product as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's gonna look
And they-
better.
They got monks still. That's the thing. Because
Yeah.
most anime studios they begin like airing only when they have like maybe they're halfway done or whatever. But these guys are
Depends.
literally doing when it's done. It seems to be when it's done. It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's the final season, so they can take their time.
Yeah, they're also trying to I guess take their time too because you know the manga's still.
Yeah.
I guess this means the Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
Colin
just,
just,
yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
he
okay.
just kicked the bucket.
Anyways,
Oh,
there it
Colin's
is.
back.
So I think what's probably going on is the creator already has like okay, he told the studio this is how many chapters I have left.
Yeah.
I'm estimating
Oh.
I'm estimating 7 chapters.
Yeah, Isayama had storyboards written for the entire series as far back as like chapter 10, I believe.
Yeah. We've already
So
seen
he
the final
probably-
panel too.
Yeah, so he probably just gave them the storyboards like straight up said like, okay, here are the storyboards for Attack on Titan.
Yeah. Honestly, what would be cool is if like the last episode and the last chapter come out on the same day. That would actually be like really cool if that happened.
Yeah.
It won't, but
It won't.
yeah.
I think
Do
what will
we,
happen
is
is
there
like
confirmed a new chapter next week?
yeah,
No deconfirm. So
yeah, there's no deconfirmation, but yeah.
Yes, finally,
Yeah.
God, it's been so long.
plot progression.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It was kind of getting me out of it with like the whole like I guess just I don't really like all the fucking focus on the psychiatrist just trying to like we have to stop Aaron whatever, but like based Jean
Yeah,
Jean
that
was
was
the
such a
actual
great-
best character.
Well, because the alliance shit comes so out of left field, and it's like, what the fuck? They're all
Yeah.
friends already. But then the
Yeah.
latest chapter like completely twists that on its head, where it's like, no, they're
Yeah.
fucking arguing.
No, these guys are not gonna get
Mhm.
along. They're doing it for like so they can get to it.
Which is
I just love
so
the
great.
idea of these characters like having to interact with like these people they're like super
Yeah.
racist against or whatever. Like that's one of my favorite things. Like I know you guys don't like Gabby, but I appreciate her character as she starts out hating these guys, and
Yeah,
then
no,
by the
I
end,
think she's really well written. I just don't.
yeah,
like
I
her
think that's
personally.
the point though. You know,
Yeah,
like she sees
I-
that like these are people, and
I
like,
think it's
you know,
hilarious though that like Gabby was only made because the mangaka saw like fan art of female Eren.
oh really? I didn't
Yeah,
know
you
that.
didn't know that?
No, cool.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah, I mean, Attack on Titan is just so much more than just that popular anime from like 2014.
Yeah, it got
You know?
better.
Yeah.
It got
It got
better.
so
I just-
much better.
I just can't believe he's had this shit planned out since day
Dude,
one.
Isayama, man, like
And
this is his first series too, right?
this is his one and only work.
Which is crazy. I remember
Whatever.
reading that he like when Attack on Titan got big, his bank account like shut down because they thought it was like some kind of fraud he was doing. It became that big overnight.
I'm kind of happy that people got filtered out of the series just
Oh,
so we don't have to do.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I got
Yes.
back into it.
Mhm.
This is what like needs to happen with JoJo.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Jojolion is doing that with the manga, but
No, but like but just even with the anime, just like take forever to adapt like the 3 best parts, please.
yeah.
Like
6.
parts 6, 7, and 8 are like the best parts.
Well, I remember
Yeah.
when the wait for part 5 was really long, and that actually caused a lot of people to start reading it,
Yeah.
which was it's a good and bad thing, really.
I'm just saying, once part 6 gets animated, I can't wait for Yo-Yo Ma.
Yeah.
I can't wait for
I think what needs to happen.
Yeah, I actually cannot
I
wait
think
for
when you
Dragon's Dream.
I can't wait to make an AMV with Chinese rap.
Oh, speaking
yeah.
of AMV real fast. So, I had this plan since I read the manga for Attack on Titan. I'm gonna do when season 4 is done an AMV
Congrats.
of Zombie by the Cranberries.
Oh,
It's
that.
so perfect, but I literally
Yeah.
all the footage I need is in season 4. And
Yeah.
So you're literally just
I'm
waiting.
waiting.
So,
Like I
Yeah,
have the
I pre-ordered-
storyboard for it already. I'm like,
Have
okay,
they-
I have this, and this. I
Have
just
they
need-
confirmed that season 4 is going to be a 2-parter?
I think
No.
so. They
They
haven't
haven't.
confirmed. They haven't confirmed it, but I'm pretty sure it will.
I think that would be the best, especially like
Also, fucking season 1's promotional material. Aaron looking up at the fucking Colossal
Yeah.
Titan breaking into his town. Season 4 promotional material. Fucking Reinhardt looking at the Attack Titan breaking into his town.
it's so like
Poetry.
Bravo.
Actual poetry.
Bravo, Isayama.
dude, people are still so filtered about the whole like fascist themes of the series or whatever. They still think it's like not
People
like
say that have not read or watched it.
Yeah.
no. Listen, if you actually have like, I was showing you this area. There's a really good panel to show like what people like. They just look at it and say, oh, this is like Jewish or whatever, just by looking at it and not reading the subtext. It's from that same exact arc. It's like I'm impressed you were able to read the ancient language, though. No, I've barely been able to decipher any of it. Then how come you know these things then? Isn't obvious from looking? I believe in our ancestor Ymir. We're the chosen children of the god, the subjects of Ymir. Meaning he doesn't look at like what it means. That's just what he thinks it means. And he's getting
Yeah.
like, I think that's absolutely a genius page. to
Attack
show
on Titan
that.
is like the exact opposite of everything that everyone thinks it is.
Yeah.
It's not like fucking like Nazi propaganda. It's not some like dumb edgy shonen with no substance. It's not like poorly written.
Yeah, we didn't know it was
It's not
shown
hard
until
me
recently.
either. I don't know why. Apparently, like when Attack on Titan first like got serialized, people really didn't like the art style for it, and it's like
It had a
They
really
don't like
big
the artwork in
art style
general.
improve in like 13
yes,
chapters.
oh, it did, but
Yeah.
okay, like the faces I can get, but like, dude, he's always been really good at scenery and like really good at drawing Titans. That's
Like-
actually terrifying.
It was during the I think it's the season 2 material with the when they first show the ape to like 13 later when they show the ape again. It's like that huge art style shift.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it's so like natural too. Like there's not like a huge shift. It's like slowly like getting better.
I highly recommend the Colossal editions for Attack on Titan. They
Yeah.
are beautiful. I own some of them, and they're just like amazing. The print quality is just like.
I know some of them are out of
impeccable.
print right now. I
Is the
think they're
print quality actually good?
let me check. I'll look it up on Amazon.
Speaking of,
Uh,
I just bought a really big purchase, and that's the complete original series of a Battle Angel Alita,
Yeah.
which is
I'm so fucking jealous.
oh my god, I
Where'd
love
you get it?
Amazon. They were like $103
Oh,
for all 6 books.
Okay. So the Colossal Edition number 5 is about to come out later this year. It has the
Who's on the
Warhammer
cover?
type. Warhammer.
Oh,
It is 21 to 25. Meaning there's probably going to be one more Colossal Edition after this one.
Hmm.
maybe even yeah, more like that.
Yeah, the
Like-
first one's in print, the second and third ones are about to go out of print, and then the fourth one and fifth ones are still in print.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Like- Hector and like I think Colin, like I know you guys aren't like caught up on like Attack on Titan, like you guys you're not ready.
Yeah.
You're not ready. You need to
I
show yourself.
genuinely think
I'm excited.
Yeah, I genuinely think that the plot twist of what's in the basement in Attack on Titan is like probably the greatest plot twist like ever told.
I would-
Ever in all of fiction.
Hmm
If I were
Like,
to say the greatest manga of the past decade, Mob Psycho, Jojolion, and Attack on Titan.
I'm so ready when Attack on Titan ends to call it like the best manga I've ever read.
yeah, Attack on Titan was technically like 2009 though, you know.
I'd still count it because I would say it got when the anime came out. That's the
Oh.
thing. But you know, whatever. Do what you want.
Just incredible writing. Like
Man.
I remember like people just like comparing it to like Fullmetal Alchemist because like I don't know they're both like European I guess whatever but like just now I can see like it's honestly like I can see why you should compare it just because they do tackle similar themes.
Yeah, this is easily overtaken.
But I
Fullmetal
think
Alchemist
this
as the
surpasses
best
it.
shonen ever made.
I think this surpasses it because like Fullmetal Alchemist like yeah that tied up every single loose end, every single plot point that it had set up from the beginning. But this is like fucking how do you even like
How are they gonna end it? That's all I can say. How
yeah,
are they going to end the story?
you have any idea how much of a fucking miracle it is that like this series didn't just get axed or something?
Yeah.
Like the fact that like it's been
So
it
much
has this
build-up.
opportunity. It has the opportunity to like tell the story it's been wanting to tell since chapter 1. It's fucking incredible.
That's how it
Crazy.
ideally that's how it should be done, you know.
Yeah.
No,
When you see chapter 1 to you 2,000 years from the future, and then like chapter like 120 something like from you 2,000 years ago in the past, fucking hard.
insane. And man, I know I keep shilling this to you, Arda, but like, if you love that aspect of Attack on Titan, like, please watch Twin Peaks.
No, yeah, I definitely will. I think I have it
Because
downloaded
Twin Peaks does that also. Because like, one of the last things that's said is, "I'll see you again in 25 years," and then
And
25
then
years later, Twin
Yes.
Peaks: The Return.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just checked. I do have all of Twin Peaks downloaded.
Awesome.
So
Do you
yeah,
have them
I'll
ready as
definitely.
well?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
make
should
sure.
you should
I'll
you should
definitely-
like you should like do like a TV club and just watch that with people because
Oh, I'd watch it.
it's best to watch it like with people for the first time because then
I'll probably do that whenever I get my new computer because like on this laptop that I have like I
Yeah.
cannot like stream shit on Discord.
Hey, Arda, I'm down
please.
with you.
I mean, my Discord picture right now is from Twin Peaks.
What's
so-
the exact watch order? It's season 1.
Season 1, Season 2, Fire Walk with Me, The Missing
With me.
Pieces, and then The Return.
Okay.
What's
So,
missing
Arda,
pieces?
Missing Pieces are deleted scenes from Fire Walk with Me that are still
Oh.
canon, and it's a 90 minutes worth of deleted scenes, so it might as well be its own movie.
Oh
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah.
yeah. So,
And,
Arda,
like I have
let's watch
seen
it.
I have seen fan edits that combine Fire Walk with Me and The Missing Pieces into like one 4-hour movie, but I don't really like that because like the Fire Walk with Me is like distinctly like the story of Laura Palmer, and then all the deleted scenes are like other stuff within the town and like other characters, and it just kind of takes away from the beauty of that. But no, yeah, thankfully those scenes are honored as canon, so that you do need to watch them for The Return.
And it's a good
Okay.
thing they're kept as in like box sets and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't look that up. What's the
There,
Twin
there,
Peaks
there was
box
a
set?
new box set actually. I don't know if it's still in stock, but it's called Twin Peaks from A to Z. I think that's what it's called.
C to A.
Z to A, and it comes with everything.
Oh, $200.
Yeah, I think it's sold out.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I own. I think this is definitely out of print, but I own Twin Peaks: The Complete Mystery. Back when that's all we had, so it's beautiful, but that's sold out like really fast. Then
Okay,
I have,
there's
but
a
so that one, I think they renamed it to like the Original Mystery or something. That comes with the first 2 seasons and Fire Walk with Me, and The Missing Pieces. Um, Criterion Collection has Fire Walk with Me and The Missing Pieces as its own thing for like $20 when it's on sale. That's a gorgeous release. I'm thinking of picking that one up, even though I already own Fire Walk with Me, just because like that's one of my favorite movies, and I'd like to have it like in its own case.
since
and
that Oh, sorry.
And then I have Twin Peaks: The Return, the complete series, which is another box set, and that's just season 3. Yeah,
Anyways,
so
Mhm.
I found a box set. It is called Twin Peaks: The Television Collection. It doesn't have the movies. It does not have Far With Me, but it has every episode of the original series plus all 18 of The Return. So you can buy that, and you can buy the Fire Walk with Me.
Criterion.
Yeah, and then there's also a Twin Peaks novel, The Secret History of Twin
there's
Peaks.
2 of them
novel.
actually.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking at the television collection right now.
It's in the
Okay, yeah, no, this is a really good deal actually. Oh, that's crazy. It's only $53 on Blu-ray
Yeah.
on Amazon. That's a steal. That's
Mhm.
great. But yeah, I mean it's better than from Z to A, which I almost bought Z to A. I think it was like $90, which is still a pretty good deal.
Mhm.
But the thing that like held me back, I mean obviously number one, I already own everything that's in that box set. Um there was also new behind the scenes stuff for the return, which I wanted, but oh well. And then the other thing that it had was it had one 4K disc of just the first pilots and part 8 of the return, which like I get it, those are like the 2 best fucking episodes, but like really why not just make like a 4K box set, you know? I'm sure that'll come eventually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, eventually. Once 4K
Now,
becomes the standard.
now everyone might be like, "Why are you talking about Twin Peaks? This is a manga podcast." You'd be surprised how important Twin Peaks is to Japanese pop culture.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it's insane. I mean, some of the greatest Japanese creators of all time, Suda51, Swery, Hideo Kojima,
Araki.
Araki, big time Araki, are like super inspired by Twin Peaks. It's insane. I mean,
Whoever the fuck's in charge of Persona.
I'm gonna say this.
oh
Twin
yeah,
Peaks
yeah,
probably-
Persona also, yeah.
Twin Peaks has done more for Japanese media, I think, than anything else.
It's
Honestly,
It's up
massive.
there.
Like,
It's up there. Top
because-
five,
Yeah.
definitely.
because I mean, like, so much of like Japanese stuff, especially like video games, are like they have this really weird, like slow, dry pace usually with just like weird characters and like side quests, and that's like
Yeah, and odd
it's completely because of Twin Peaks, because that's what it was. And it's interesting because Twin Peaks was actually banned in Japan for a while.
Wait,
just-
was it really?
Yeah, that's why it got so popular, because it was like they were
Oh,
selling like
it was
bootlegs.
taboo.
And then it's funny because when it got really big, David Lynch actually went to Japan and filmed like Japanese canned coffee commercials like with Twin Peaks. Like everyone
Why the fuck
from
did they
show
ban
came
it?
back.
Hold on, I'm looking at my
'Cause it's
bank
like,
account right now. I think I'm about to buy this television collection.
That's a really good deal.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like $70 for everything. That's really good. Like 60.
Oh wait, the television collection for me is 53.
No, because I want to get that in the movie.
Oh,
I don't know if I should just get the Criterion or just get the normal Blu-ray.
the Criterion. Get the
Okay, it's
Criterion.
only $7 more.
Yeah, get the Criterion.
But wait, so why did they ban it in Japan?
I don't know. I have no
It's
idea.
a-
Probably because it like
It's a lesson for another day.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was banned somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was in Japan. Yeah, no, it's. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I found a source. Okay, so it wasn't that it was like banned. It was just that no one wanted to show it, and there was actually only. It was only on one like independent broadcaster in Japan that didn't even have like a million subscribers. It was like a super small thing. And then yeah, it was like because of bootlegs that like it got spread around to more people. And then it actually
Yeah.
got like really big, like legitimately in Japan because of it.
Also, speaking of Twin Peaks, one more month, and the sequel to one of the greatest games ever made is out.
Deadly
Deadly
Premonition 2. Yep.
That's all we're gonna say about that. I think.
I thought
Yes,
y'all were
yep.
gonna mention
So says
freaking
Mr. Stewart.
Battle for Bikini Bottom
Oh,
Rehydrated.
yeah,
That's-
that's
that's
Also,
his-
Clayton, by the way, you dodged a bullet because I checked the $20 Blu-ray for Far Walk with Me, and it's Region B.
What does
Yeah,
that exactly mean?
That means it only plays on like British Blu-ray players.
Oh, so yeah, I have to get
Wait,
the.
Blu-rays are fucking region locked?
Yeah, you didn't know?
No, the only Blu-ray I have is the Cowboy the entire series.
Oh,
Which I have signed by the fucking voice actors, by the way.
Deadly Premonition Origins. I'm looking at that right now on Switch because I want it. Oh, it's about to go out of stock. I might have to just buy that in Twin Peaks. Anyways, I think this we've been going for a really long time now. So let's just end it off with some quick recommendations.
Actually, I want to show something pretty big. So my one of my best friends has a podcast called Bad Film Cast. I was on there for 2 episodes. What
Nice.
they do is they review and praise movies that were rated 50% or lower on Rotten Tomatoes,
Oh, that's
or
cool.
3.0
Like
or lower
filter
on
movies.
Letterboxd. Yeah, exactly. So I was on there for Serenity with Matthew McConaughey and the Mike Myers Cat in the Hats.
Based.
And so it's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, it's on Apple, whatever, Bad Filmcast.
Oh,
But I'm gonna be on again next week, but the episode won't be out for another like 3 weeks maybe, and I'm gonna talk about Alita Battle Angel.
Wait, that
Oh,
was
yes.
that
wait,
was not
that was the better reviews?
It's
filtered.
no,
actual.
it's Alita has like a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's still too low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Movie deserves to be a 90, at
Yeah.
least.
I love Alita. Like Battle
It
Angel,
was
Alita,
really good.
the
too.
Alita OVA, and then obviously the live action movie. I just love that series. That's why I
Have you
bought the
seen the,
whole manga box set for the original
Have you
series.
seen the 5-minute like CGI animation though?
Yes,
the
I
motorball
have.
animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool as fuck.
Yeah, and I have not played the PS1 game, but I'm working on that.
I didn't know.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
I'll look that up later.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna be on there. It's gonna be an amazing episode because I have so much to say about Alita. I have a great history with it, have experienced a lot of things with it. I was even like a professional cosplay shill for it for 20th Century Fox at an anime
Yeah.
convention.
Yeah. I'll check that out, dude. I fucking love Lita.
Yeah, and then actually he just did an episode with John McAfee, who I requested.
Oh
He,
my
I,
god.
I, I got the email for John McAfee's wife, and I told him, dude, try to get McAfee on the podcast, and he did, and that episode is
There's
out.
no way.
That
I
epi-
need to.
That episode is out. Bad film cast, John McAfee, and the movie they talk about is the Nicolas Cage Wicker Man.
Your joke. Oh my god.
Damn.
He is fucking crazy, and they talk about
Yeah,
they talk about
I'm checking
anime.
the shit out.
They talk about anime also. And John McAfee says he loves Ashita no Joe and Akira.
Beast!
God,
Beast!
what a god.
Yeah, and Grave of the Fireflies. Those like his top 3.
Yo.
And
Is he our guy?
He also loves JoJo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Is
this
he
guy's
really?
His favorite.
Oh wait, no, he does. He knows. We know this.
His, pro-
'cause
his,
he,
his
Twitter,
profile picture on Twitter
Yeah.
is Joseph
Joseph,
Joestar. And
like him next to Joseph Joestar.
And he says like Joseph Joestar is me. We share many
Yeah,
similar
he's
characteristics.
Yeah. He wants to make like a national JoJo day if he like becomes president.
Yeah. He also says that Wicker Man is a porno movie. He says that Mike Myers is the greatest actor of all time, and he says The Spy Who Shagged
Really?
Me is the funniest movie ever made.
Ours never
Yeah.
seen that. We need to watch that sometime.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm checking that out, dude.
Yeah.
Nice. Base.
Shit.
Anything else you guys been watching? I've been watching. I finished Kaiji finally, the anime. Phenomenal work. Uses tons of suspense. Honestly, I don't want to say too much because we're kind of time right now. I'll just say this: please watch Kaiji and then read it. Like,
Intense shit.
It's absolutely one of Madhouse's best, without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I haven't really done much over this past week. I got a new computer. I'm gonna. Oh, okay, wait, I know. Okay, once I get my new computer, I'm gonna be hopefully like recording some videos. I've already like written out the scripts for them, just talking about shit I like. So I guess just keep an eye on them for that. I don't know. It's just gonna be more or less like the type of shit we talk about on here, but more like I have a video about Chainsaw Man, and I have one about like me just defending like live action Death Note because that movie's hard as
Nice.
fuck. I don't care what anyone says.
Yes.
Never seen it.
It's good. Don't fall
It's
for the
great.
meme.
It's so good, dude.
Adam Wingard is a
Oh.
fucking mastermind. Yeah, go on.
I'm just gonna show Toriko. Really good series. A shame it got cut so early because Clayton was telling me like how it ends, and I was really excited to see like how it goes. I'm still gonna read it in full, but Toriko really good. Don't got anything to show though besides that.
Yeah, it's good.
Well,
300 some chapters.
as for me, I've just been playing a lot of Minecraft Dungeons. Pretty fun games. Really, it relaxes me.
Yeah.
As for shilling, I think I'm gonna start getting into stop motion in the summer. I did
Oh, hell
a short 1 minute
yeah. Shit,
stop
animation.
motion fight versus of Ken versus Terry. It's up on my YouTube channel. It's my YouTube channel's IX Optimus IX, and you can find the video. It's titled Ken versus Terry, and yeah, read Chainsaw Man.
Wait, I just remember I do have something to shill. It was a project for for my college class. Called Super Death Stranding. Was very proud of the video.
That's a good video. It's a really good video.
It's so bad, it's good. I'm like, I poured my heart and soul into that video, and literally everyone loved it. I got 100 on that project. My professor was like, Colin, I could see you doing this. Don't, but you did a really good job. Well, because like she knew I wanted to be like a psychologist and all that. She's like, don't quit your day job.
Don't quit your day job to make AMVs.
But yeah, Super Death Stranding. Check it out. The YouTube name is literally just Colin Sieg.
And yeah.
But yeah,
Is that what you wanted to say?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I know.